Hi, gang. Let me know if you can hear me. Just decided to hop on early so we can get the tech part of it figured out. I'm worried that people will have trouble using Zoom for the first time. It's pretty easy, but Happy New Year. It's a little early for me to be drinking wine, but I thought, what the heck. Hey, Denise, how are you? Let me know that you can hear me okay. You can turn your camera off if you want. Hey, Denise. Hi, Joan. How are you? Just have to make sure that can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? Got Sue on, got Annie. Hopefully I can hear everybody.
Are you there?
Are you there? I can hear you. Hi, Joan.
Hi.
How's Mrs. Pinkadot today?
Cold.
Cold. It's freezing here. Man.
I know, but you're supposed to have it cold.
I know. I know. So has it been cold for a long time? We have.
No, actually just a couple days. So
yeah,
we I think we got to 28 today. Supposed to be 28 to 30.
That's a heat wave. That's a heat wave, girl.
I know.
Hi, Lorna. How are you? Let me bring you up here, girl. Hi, Lorna.
Hey.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Can everybody put it? Cheers.
Cheers.
Who else has wine? Come on, Joan.
I got water.
You guys are welcome to not be on video chat, but do chat. There's a little, if you've not used Zoom before, down on the bottom of the screen, if you just kind of move your cursor down there, you will see a little box that looks like a little conversation bubble that says chat. Push that. And then why don't you try typing some highs in there just so that we know that chat message. So if you don't want to be on video because you feel nervous about that and you just want to be audio, that's fine too. If I highlight you, you can just talk to me even though I only see your name, Denise. Denise, Annie, and Sue, I only see your name. And if you want to turn off the video, there's a little video camera down there. If you click on it, a little red line goes through it if you don't want to have yourself featured on video, and that's fine. But heck, we're all friends here, right, girls?
Yep.
So Denise, can you hear me? I'm gonna switch to Denise to make sure those that I'm not seeing their faces. That Denise, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Hi, Annie. I'm gonna switch to Annie.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, I have no, wait a minute. Let's see. Something just popped up on my screen. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to where I can see you guys. I don't want to necessarily be seen, but okay, got it.
Hey,
Good.
Dylan. Dylan Brewer's on with us. Happy New Year, Dylan. Put your face on here, buddy. I have a little bit of a lag on my screen, so forgive me. There we go. Now I can see you on the side. Very fun. Okay. Dylan put his screen off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we got 7 people on. That's awesome. I came on a little bit early, so it's before
5:59.
So 5:59. So how's everybody doing tonight? Drinking wine already? Glad that 2017's over. Looking forward to 2018?
Yep.
Yep.
Who was open today? Anybody open today?
I
Yeah.
was.
Who was?
Me.
Me.
Lorna was open. Okay. Who else was open? Anybody?
Yep, Joan was.
Joan was, Ann was. We were open 11 to 3 today. I don't know about you guys.
Yes, too. Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally we're 11 to 4 on Sundays, but I cut it a little short so the gals could go home. So yeah, it wasn't a stellar day. I don't know about you, but
It was dead.
yeah, it was pretty,
Yeah.
but they got a lot of stuff done for me. So we're having a big sale tomorrow. We're known at the front porch for our New Year's Day sale. So we are 12 to 5 tomorrow, 75% off all remaining Christmas, and it'll be a nut house. So
Oh, wow.
so we were getting ready for that. So getting all the stuff up front and taking all the doing all the signage and all that stuff. So that's
So
what
do people really come in for your 75%? Because I've noticed this week they come in, I have a 75% area. They're not looking at it. They're just,
really
they're done.
off the Christmas. Is it Christmas or everything?
At Christmas, they're done.
Yeah, we kind of have an unusual situation, I think, in that I built it up many, many years ago. I built it up as this special thing on New Year's Day, where we're only open, I make it a big deal, like, hey, Tammy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Tammy's on. Say hi to everybody. Happy New Year. Yeah, so I think it's just one of those weird traditions that we have built just by people loving to do it. Because what do you do on New Year's Day, really, if you think about it? We don't open early because, that way if anybody has partied or whatever, they can sleep in. A lot of guys are watching football. So we've just always, and we're never 75% off until that day. So they all know that. Now we've been 60% off, which is more than I normally do between Christmas and New Year's. Normally we go to 50, but I've been a little bit more aggressive. Better turn my phone off here. Little bit more of an aggressive markdown schedule I've done this year because of our shortened hours. Yeah, so we went to 60 off the day after Christmas rather than 50. So it's going to be interesting to see if that impacts tomorrow's 75, because that's not that much more, So it'll just be interesting. It's more of a social thing for a lot of gals for me. Hey, how you doing? So anyway, let's just let's start. There's 12 of us on. Woohoo! Let's just start, and why don't we just go through and introduce each other, introduce ourselves, just so we kind of know who we're talking to, right? And tell where your store is. What kind of store? Real quick, you're funny. What kind of store you have? Where you're located, just a real quick introduction, how long you've been in business, maybe if you want to. We don't want to be too long. And then we're going to delve right in and let's talk about how the year went for all of us, what worked, what didn't, what was good, what was bad. And then hopefully we're going to get into some kind of goal setting for next year and maybe talk about some, hey Dylan.
Listen.
A Wicked Sealand fan going there, bud. Hey. It just keeps rotating. Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, so I think I'm going to bear with me here because this is the first time I've done I use Zoom all the time, but it's the first time I've done this many people on it. So I'm going to hopefully be able to figure it out here. So if I highlight you, I'll say your name and then we're just going to do introductions. Okay. Hi, Angie. How are you?
I'm good.
There we go. You're on screen, right? Can everybody see Angie? Pink t-shirt?
I don't look like her.
Yeah? Stop. Okay, Angie, introduce yourself, girl.
You have me?
Oh, wait, I have Tammy. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's weird. I highlighted Angie and Tammy came up. Sorry. Well, let's just go through. I'll just call off your name. How about that? Okay, I'm just going to go by my list here. All right, I'm gonna go up here and we're gonna start with Angie. Angie Bauer.
Hey.
Hi, Angie Bauer, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
We had a nice chat today, didn't we?
We did. I didn't know you were gonna see me or else I would have done something.
You can shut off your video camera if you're uncomfortable, but hey girl, look at me.
No, I don't care.
I just washed my hair and it's half wet still. So.
I don't care, whatever.
Yeah, we're retailers, we don't care.
No.
Okay.
I am the Sugar Bowl Boutique, and I am in Lena, Illinois. And we have been open for almost 2 years, but as a brick and mortar, but before that, it was about 5 years.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Who's next? Annie.
Hey, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a brick and mortar store, Home Panache. We've been open 3 years, 4 years,
Uh-huh.
4 years, 3 years. Yeah, just a small shop with 2 of us that share the space, and we have a mix of vintage things, new things, or decor, jewelry, gifts, that sort of thing.
Okay. Awesome. I don't know why the screen keeps flipping. I apologize for that. Is it flipping for you guys? Because it just keeps going through.
Yeah.
Is anybody on that knows Zoom really well? Like, how am I supposed to do it? Stop that. I don't see anything on here that tells me. Okay, so that's Annie. Denise, why don't you go next? Denise, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, introduce yourself, Denise.
Okay, I've got can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I have a booth at Brown Street Emporium in the Economowoc and the Wisconsin Dells Craft Mall. I'm Nooks and Crannies. I just pulled out of the Waterford Craft Mall. And I've been I had a store for 16, 17 years and then went to the booth just this last year.
So you had a store for 16 or 17 years and now you're just in, you're in several booths and you do crafts.
Yep.
And you do vintage too though, don't you? Don't you do vintage as well, Denise?
I do a little bit of everything, but mostly primitives and that. I make a lot of it. And then I order stuff too. So.
Okay. And then Denise is in Wisconsin. For anybody that didn't recognize those wacky Native American names, Denise is in Wisconsin. Okay, Dylan Brewer, you're next.
Hello. Can
Hi,
everyone
Dylan.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. This is the first time I've done one of these, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I
Dylan.
am currently choking,
That's
but
okay.
my name is Dylan Brewer. I'm in Salmon, Idaho. I have a little craft supply store, home decor store, gifts. We do classes, custom orders, etc. And it will be 4 years on February 13th that I've been opened.
Awesome, Dylan. It's great to have you as part of a group. I love it.
Well,
and
thank
Dylan is
you.
extremely savvy at social media marketing. So Dylan, tell the name of your store again, because I want everyone to write it down, or we'll put it, if you can put it in the chat, actually put a Facebook link in the chat, Dylan. We should all do that for our business page. If you guys can all type in your link for your stores in the chat at some time tonight, whenever you get a moment.
You got it.
And I'm recording this call as well, so I'll be posting it to the group for other people that couldn't make it. But Dylan is really, he's my Facebook buddy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He does a lot of really cool things on Facebook, so he would be a great page for you guys that aren't promoting on Facebook like you should, to go and take a look at the kind of things he's doing. So anyway, put it in there, mister.
Okay, I will figure out how to do that and we'll put it in there.
Okay, just put your Facebook link so they can go right to your page. And then we can all get some likes and engagement on our page too. Okay,
Perfect.
Joan, you're up, girl.
Hello, I'm Joan Wilkening. I have Mrs. Pink Dot in Norfolk, Virginia, and I've been open 3.5 years. And we've got, I've got about 30 vendors. I've got consignment, and I have all my stuff. We've got vintage, rusty relics, shabby chic, painted furniture, repurposed stuff. We do classes. We teach painting. We teach chalk couture. Pretty much everything.
Awesome. Do you do any buy and sell regular wholesale, Joan, or do you stay away from that?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. You do that too.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I got to meet Joan. Joan actually made a point of coming to my store over when was that, Joan? Fall? Early fall? Was it fall?
When
Or
was
October? October, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah. I've been following you on Facebook, and I was up visiting friends up in Milwaukee and up in Sheboygan. And we spent an afternoon at your shop.
You did.
Really enjoyed it. It was fun.
It was awesome.
We even bought stuff.
But you did. You did. Okay, Lorna, you're up. Lorna, you're up next.
Hey everyone, Lorna Sobel from, I have the Painted Dragonfly, and that's in Nolensville, Tennessee, just about 20 minutes south of Nashville. And I do probably a little bit of everything. It's located in a 2-story house built in 1946. So we do new like gifts, candles, home decor, clothing, baby, dishes, painted furniture, paint, a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And Lorna and I have known each other for a long time, right? Lorna, how long have we known each other?
Probably 4 years now. I've been
Yeah.
2 years in this location as brick and mortar and 2 years renter. So, and guided me through my first market. I was all by myself.
I did it. I can't remember how. I think we knew each other through a paint group or through Chantel and
American
Jim.
Paint Company.
Yeah, American Paint Company. I think that's how we met, you know how that is.
Yeah.
And then I think you had reached out or something and said, I'm going to Atlanta. Do you want? And
I
we
think
met
you
up.
could have reached like saying who's going and everything.
Yeah.
And I said I was. And so you
Yeah.
gave me your number. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So we usually, every time we're at market, we usually get together for lunch or coffee or something. So Lorna.
We tried, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, good to see you, Lorna. Sandra, you're up next.
Okay. Hey guys, I am Sandra. I am Cowgirls and Crosses, and we are a traveling boutique.
Hey, my Vegas friend.
I
I know.
Sorry, I have been sick all day, but I knew I had committed to your 6 p.m. deal, and I am standing strong on
Oh
it.
man, girl, you have that's surprising. Okay, so Cowgirls and Crosses, and you're from
Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo, Texas, and you're on traveling boutique only, or do you have a brick and mortar location?
No brick and mortar. We don't want to deal with the extra overhead or anything like
Right.
that. My husband and I, we both work full-time jobs.
Oh, you
So,
do?
yes, ma'am.
Wow.
So while we were in Vegas, we were on workcation.
Yes.
And took vacation in order to go and work our job and our love, which is our business.
So how did we, because I was just in Vegas, you all know I was in Vegas so on that design job, that showroom design job in December, and all of a sudden you messaged me and said, are you in Vegas? Like, how did we know each other? And then you were in Vegas.
Yes. Well, so I had been watching your front porch lives and was doing some of the just amazing decorating that you were doing.
Yep.
And so, of course, I had, my booth that I needed to set up. And so just watching how you were decorating and some things like that. And so I am with, I'm in Jennifer Allwood's group also.
Oh, yeah.
So, you just kind of follow certain people and you see how you're moving and grooving. And I'm like, holy smokes, that girl never sleeps.
Yeah. And it was so funny. So real quick, Sandra, you have to tell everybody what you were in Vegas for, because I was just like blown away. Explain what you were doing there.
Okay, so since we are a traveling boutique, we set up at the National Finals Rodeo. That is usually the first weekend in December, and it's for 10 days. 10 days.
Is it always in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is?
Yes. And so we had a booth there that we worked 9 to 5. My sister-in-law and I drove out 12 hours on December the 3rd, and then my husband drove back on December the 16th, our truck and trailer. And so, there are tons of people that go to the National Finals from all over. We had customers from Canada. We had customers you name it, we had it. The first couple of days, it always starts on a Thursday. They had 7,000 people through the door at the Mandalay Bay Roper Convention.
Crazy.
So by Saturday, we had 11,000 people through the door.
Wow.
And then during the week, it kind of, it got back down to like 5,000. But there are a ton of people. And, the rule in Vegas, and you agree with me, is 3 days is not enough, but 4 days is too many, and it changes that quick.
Exactly.
And so you can only imagine 15 days out there. So
you are road weary. I'm there just for, I'm there for quite a bit. Well, I go to Vegas quite often, as you all know. Well, anybody that follows me knows. But man, I hit the hotel. And I'm like, what the heck? I saw the first cowboy booth and the boots, and then the cowboy hats, and then the fringe, and then and I'm like, what the heck? Is there a big cowboy, a country western concert? And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. And then you reached out, and then I realized what it was. But talk about taking your business to where the market is, people.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sandra, make sure to did you put your Facebook page on there?
Y'all, I'm old. I don't know how to do this stuff. This is the
I
first
will
time.
do it. I will do it for you at some point. Cowboys.
Okay.
If anybody's savvy and wants to look on their Facebook page for Cowboys and
Cowgirls and Crosses.
Cowgirls and Crosses
Yes.
in Texas, and put her link for her Facebook page in there, because you guys need to go and look at her booth, because she has quite a few live videos of her booth in Vegas. It was really cool. Just another way to do business, right?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, Sue. Great to see you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Sue, you're up next.
Hey, I turned off my video and can't put it back on, so I'm.
That's totally fine. We are just fine with that. So what's
I have a shop called the Snack Craft Mill. It's in outside of Waukesha, Wisconsin, and I rent space to about 45 different vendors who bring in handmade or vintage or antique items.
what's your
a
last
lot of-
name? What's your last name, Sue? And what's the name of your business again?
Sue Hunt,
Yeah. Oh, Sue Hunt. Right. Okay.
and it's this and that craft mill.
Yeah.
A lot of painted furniture and kind of similar, sounds very similar to what Joan is doing.
Awesome.
Want me to tell them what I do?
Awesome. Tammy, you're up next. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you.
Hi.
Tammy, you're up next.
Okay. I own Flippin' Furniture. We just opened about 3 months ago. So
Oh boy, girl. I bet you're a
Congrats.
little blurry-eyed right now.
my baby's in its infancy right now. So
Yeah.
I basically have about 30 some vendors, and
Wow.
but some of them only have like ornaments and small things. So it's not by booth. It's all over, and painted furniture. Sounds a lot like some of the other ones we're saying. Just kind of a little bit of everything. So, and we also do classes too. So.
Cool. Well, welcome. It's great to have you. You can learn a lot from everybody that's in this group, let me tell you. So stay tuned. The next few months are going to be a little nutty with the shows coming up. So Janet, you're up next.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. I had my muted. I think that's why it's jumping around every time somebody makes a noise. It goes to whoever's.
Is that why?
Yeah, I think so.
So what am I supposed to do? Mute everybody and just bring people up as they
Well,
talk?
everybody. I muted myself down in the corner, and so since I muted myself because I have like kids here running around, I didn't want anybody here. So I muted it, but I noticed as people were talking, it would bounce to.
So I think what it's doing is picking up all the background noise, is what you're saying, and then it goes to whoever is. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
Sorry, off topic. I'm Janet Reed. I am in Darden Prairie, Missouri, which is basically outside of St. Louis, about half an hour or so. I own a store called Four Quarters Vintage. There's 3 of us that own the store. I'm the only one on tonight. One girl has the flu. Unfortunately, the other girl just lost her mom a day ago. So, yeah, it was very sad. So I'm here representing, we have been in business for I'm starting to lose track of time, about 6 years. We're in our current location for 4.5. Actually coming up on the end of our 5-year lease that we signed. We have about a 1,500 square foot brick and mortar and a little strip mall shopping center with like a Target, JCPenney, grocery store. We started out all vintage. We've started to morph a little bit. We have added, obviously we have paint, which is how we met Anne through American Paint Company.
Right.
All of that craziness.
I know.
I think there's a special bond for all of us.
Yeah, wine.
Yeah.
Let's all take a drink of wine talking about American Paint.
Yes.
That one. Get everybody laughing.
So yeah, we do a lot of vintage. We added some clothing this year, which we're having a blast with.
Woohoo! Yeah,
yes.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, the sales did slow down on that at the end of the year, so we're gonna have to try to figure that one out. But when we brought it on initially, it's done great. I think it'll pick up in the spring again. We have paint. We've just dabbled in some wholesale, so we've done a couple different. Nothing huge. We're kind of a cash basis kind of store, so we don't venture out into huge amounts of orders and things like that. So I don't know if that's going to change here soon or what, but that's why we're here with Anne to learn everything that we can. And from everybody else, it's been amazing.
Yeah. Janet was a part of my buyers club that I launched last summer, just as a beta thing where I was virtually, it's kind of hard to, hi!
That's my youngest.
Hi. And so we actually had a little bit of a private call as well, where they were just trying to find some other categories to bring into the store, and that's why I suggested a few clothing lines, and they did really well with them. So that was.
We did. Yeah, we had a good end of the year, really kind of pulled it out of our booties.
Yeah.
And I think kind of adding the wholesale and the clothing and just that, I don't have all the cost of goods, like, all the final numbers of that. But as far as sales, we were up very high, very good at the end of the year. So
that's awesome.
Whatever's going on is working. So
awesome.
We're just going to keep moving forward with
that.
So
that's my goal. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's awesome to talk to everybody, and whatever else everybody has to say, we just kind of absorb it all and take it all in. So
awesome. Okay, so Cheryl, I don't think we've had you yet, have we? And my things have switched around. So Cheryl Roy's on. Hi, Cheryl.
Had to unmute myself. Hi, Ann. How are you doing?
How are you? Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. Aren't we lucky to all be here together?
I know. Were you open today?
I was open today. I don't know why I was open today, but I was open today.
We all said that. You joined a little late. We all said, it was really terrible today.
Yeah. We got a lot of work done, though.
Well, that's what I said. We got the gals got a lot of stuff ready because we have a big sale tomorrow. So we're just open for 5 hours tomorrow for the big craziness. So anyway, introduce yourself, Cheryl, so everybody knows who you are and where you're from.
Well, hello. My name is Cheryl. I have Deep Creek Vintage in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We're in our 5th year this year.
Yep.
And I, like a lot of you, met Ann through American Paint Company and all that craziness.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. I don't have my glass of wine. 1 or 2.
Hey, who knew that would turn into a drinking game?
That's too funny.
That's dangerous.
Anyway, tell them a little bit about what you do at your place, Cheryl.
Well, we're pretty lucky because we have a really cool location. It's a 18th century old manor house. We're about 5,000 square feet. We have a huge front porch, so that allows us, in a yard, and we built a glass house out there, so that allows us a lot more square footage. We have a little cottage in the back where I work, and we have some of our classes back there.
And do you have vendors too, Cheryl, or is it just you?
I do. I have vendors. I started out with about 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of a crazy ride for us because I had a little bit of a lunatic of a landlord the first year. Yeah, he used to get mad. He got mad when I bought a truck. He's like, "You're making too much money." I'm like, "You're nuts."
Oh,
I'm
my
making money. I have to
goodness.
pay my rent. But anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So we
Wow.
kind of we went through a lot of different buildings and things like that. But a lot of people have mentioned lately that we're kind of settled in and very relaxed. That's the way they feel when they come into the store now. So. But I'm always refining and trying to change. So I started off with about 20, and I'm down to about 10. And I'm kind of weeding them out as they go. I'm not allowing anybody else in unless they are a really, really good fit.
So as you weed them out, are you bringing in more wholesale? Is that your plan, or what's your plan?
I am. I have been, because this year, luckily, I guess, my husband and I have kind of been thinking back to what we've done differently this year. We've doubled in sales.
Right.
And with that, you have to replace that amount of merchandise every month.
Well, that's just it. That's just it.
It's too hard to do it when you're doing one of a kind or painting by myself. I just can't do it. So yeah, and I'm having fun with it. I like the it's kind of like vintage lifestyle things, farmhouse decor, just like what everybody else is doing, and the customers like it.
Sorry, you got muted there.
That's okay. So, when you have a vintage shop, sometimes your customers will balk at it, right? If you bring things that are new. But so our customers are finding us, the ones that like the mix.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now you also mentioned, because I know, who was the one that said they're coming close to their 5-year lease? Was that you, Janet?
Somebody, I told you that the other day too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Cheryl has the same, questions, and we can get into that maybe on another call. We can talk about it tonight too, but that's always an issue for us brick and mortars. And it is for the booth dealers as well, because you get to the point where you're at the end of your lease and you really have to look at things and talk about it in a real numbers way of what do we want. And sometimes numbers aren't everything either. It's simply. It can be a lifestyle thing, right, people?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think I've found, and I'm starting to think that, even though your sales increase, so do your expenses, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to manage all of that goes along with it. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to, if you're not muted, if you could mute yourself right now. If you can figure out how to do that, just because I'm going to go over a little bit of stuff. And then I think, is there a place for you to raise your hand? Is there a way where I can chat? No. Chat.
I think if you go to more and then hit raise your hand.
I think it's more. So look for more. Yeah. That little arrow, up arrow next to the chat, to the left of the chat. Is that where it is?
Yeah, down at the bottom of my screen, it says more, and if I push that, then it pops up and it'll be on your left-hand side that says raise hand, and then in the middle it says disconnect.
I don't see that. Does anybody else see that?
More?
Maybe it's because I'm the leader.
I'm on my phone, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Is anybody on a computer that can tell?
I'm only seeing under more, it only says save chat.
Okay, all right. All right, how can we do this? All right, so I think so that we're not.
I saw it on there before, so it does exist. I just don't know where I saw it.
Okay.
If you hit the three buttons, it's under more. If you hit the three buttons.
Allow Anna to save chat. Okay, I'm looking at more over in the chat, and now I'm going to look at more by the participants.
Yeah, it's by the participants. It's the three buttons.
3 buttons: mute all, unmute all, and more. Okay. Oh, you know what? I probably can't see it because, I see it, Beverly's iPad. Okay. Awesome. All right, so does everybody know how to raise their hand?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody look, figure it out. And then I'm gonna make sure everybody's muted so we're not getting this crazy bump around screen, right?
I haven't found it. I can't.
You haven't found it? Look over where it says participants. Have you opened up the chat window on the left side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, look, is there a button underneath everybody's name that says mute all, unmute all, and more?
Can't hear you.
No? All right, can you chat in the box, Cheryl? Yes?
I think you're muted, Anne.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, you're not.
No, I'm not. No, okay. I'm not. Sometimes there's a lag, too, on these.
Okay, so I didn't hear what you said.
Can you chat in the box? Can you type in the box if you have a question or want to raise your hand?
Can you see my phone?
Okay, are you on your phone or on your computer, Cheryl?
I'm on my computer.
All right, so underneath the people, there's not a grayed out little box that says mute, unmute, or more?
Mine's all across the bottom of the screen.
Ah.
I have no more.
When you're
in the chat box.
Is there a little arrow anywhere down below?
Just
you know what you need to do? Can you click on the chat box? Click on the chat thing, because that should bring it off to the side. See the chat little dialogue bubble?
Yeah.
This is going to take us all a little bit to get used to this format, but I really
I'm with you, Cheryl. I'm not finding it either.
Okay, I see everybody's hand raised, or some people's hand raised.
Huh.
I just don't want it to be so darn distracting because, like, I'm not even seeing myself on here. Is anybody seeing me? There I am.
Oh, I found it.
Yay!
Go to across the bottom. It says participants.
Yes.
I clicked on that, and that gave me a list of everybody, and then it says mute me or raise hand.
Ah, got it.
All right, perfect. Okay, so everybody make sure you're muted because I'm going to do some talking, and then I'm going to ask for you, take your hands down right now so we start out fresh. And then we are going to just talk about our year and what was good, what was not. I'm going to start. and tell you some things, some observations I had, and for our store. And then maybe that'll get you guys thinking about, I don't know if anybody had the time, because, you know, it's New Year's Eve. We haven't really run our numbers yet. Well, I have, but I don't know about you guys. I'm a numbers geek, so I'm kind of crazy that way. But, and then we can maybe talk about how you felt as the quarter went, you know, the fourth quarter, and then how the whole year went, and then what's working for you, what's not working for you, so we can get a dialogue going of what, number one, what do we want to talk about for the next quarter coming up here in the group, and then how I can help and what resources I can bring to answer some of your questions or concerns that you have with your business. So anyway, so raise your hand if you have a question at this point. I think everybody doesn't have a raised hand, and I'll just keep watching. Okay, good. I think I got this thing figured out now. I really wanted everybody to get used to this because I think it's a great thing to be able to see and really talk rather than just me talking at you, right? Okay, so let's talk first about how your fourth quarter was and then how your year was. At the front porch, we had, we opened up, for those of you that don't know, I have a store called The Front Porch in just west of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it's a 10,000 square foot store, which is insane, and keeps us running and a little ragged. But we sell home decor, we sell some vintage, we sell paint. We have a full boutique with clothing, purses, jewelry, everything, accessories, and we do DIY stuff. Not as many hands-on classes anymore because we just don't have the time, frankly, especially in fourth quarter. But we've been doing a lot of video tutorials online, as some of you have seen. And then, yeah, gifts, cards, you name it, we have it. Everything that a woman, sorry, Dylan, everything that ladies would like, we pretty much have it in the store. We have been in business for almost 21 years. And like I said, 10,000 square foot store, you can guess where I'm going with this. It gets to be a lot. And we're to the point now where we are not wanting to let go of it completely, but we want to downsize a little bit. We've been trying to make our store smaller, but our landlord literally has been trying for the last 5+ years to find another renter for half of our space or a quarter of our space or a third of our space or whatever. We've been in the current location for 11 years and no luck. So we are stuck with the 10,000 square feet. Now, that being said, he's been the best landlord ever with allowing us to renegotiate rents down during the tough times and things like that, which, you know, I would encourage everyone to try to do, unless you have a crazy landlord like Cheryl. But anyway, so long story short, last year, I came up with a crazy idea of either retiring completely, which was on the table, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I wasn't ready to let go of retail completely. And so I came up with a crazy idea that I took a lot of flack for from many of my retail friends and people in the industry and everything that thought I was nuts. But that's not the first time I've had that happen in my career. But, and I just really, before I made the decision to pull the plug completely, I just really let it sit. You know how sometimes you just want to let ideas and thoughts sit in your head, you know? Are you guys like that at all, where you just need quiet time to let it sink in and you're convinced that the remedy will come to you? And that's what happened. Last January, it just all of a sudden like popped in my head and I said, you know, what's the goal here? We had our first grandchild. Our daughters both live in Raleigh, North Carolina, so they're not near us. And when my oldest daughter announced that she was expecting, this was last summer, I really kind of had an epiphany of, you know, do I just want to keep working 24/7? You know, and I know you guys all roll your eyes and say, I do work 24/7, and I do work a lot. But in the retail thing, and we've talked about this in the group, in the retail thing, it gets to feel like that hamster wheel or that gerbil wheel where you're constantly going, right? Everybody raise your hand if you can understand what I'm saying. It's like you're never stopping. You're never stopping because in retail, we're always looking so far ahead in the seasons, right? With buying, with merchandising, with all that stuff. We're looking so far ahead that we're never living in the moment, really, are we? I mean, when you're the manager, the buyer, or whoever, it feels like you're never in the moment of when the time period is you're always having to look so far ahead, which is what we do. I get it. But it got to the point where it was like, man, this gerbil wheel, I just don't know if I want to be on this 24/7, 365 anymore. So I thought, okay, well, there's two things I can do. I can close the store completely, or I can come up with an alternative. And so I hatched a plan to change our hours. And now you have to understand, we're a store who only closes on, we're open all holidays because our holidays are known at, other than Christmas and Thanksgiving. Because our holidays, our customers, I've trained them, unfortunately, to know that our holidays, we always have a hooray for holiday sale. Bad idea, but it works and we do great. But what does that mean? That means I'm working every holiday too. So we are open all the time, or what? We're open all the time. So I came up with this idea to become a seasonal, occasional store, but more on a long term, if that makes sense. You know how that's a big deal now for people to do pop-up shops or to just be open 1 weekend a month, or, you know, there's all different philosophies on whether that works or doesn't work in retail. But it's becoming more of a thing for the occasional store and the pop-up shop than it ever was 15 years ago. So I thought, well, I don't just want to be open 1 weekend a month. We do too much business in fourth quarter to ever not be open during fourth quarter because we are known as the Christmas place. And so we're huge in holiday decorating supplies and things. So I came up with this schedule of round about, I think, March 1st last year, I announced to the customers. And there was a lot of therapy going on in the Milwaukee area when I announced it. And people literally coming in the store and crying. And I said, okay, March 1st, we announced that we are going to close on Memorial Weekend for the entire summer. And then we're going to reopen September 15th, and we're going to be open regular hours through January 1st or thereabouts, okay? And there was a major meltdown in our customer base. Everybody thought, there were lots of rumors flying around that we were closing our store completely, you know, the whole gambit. But what we came up with was a schedule of, and we're kind of working this out as we go, we want to close on Memorial Weekend, and we're going to be closed all summer. And then we're going to reopen September 15th, go all the way through to January 1st or so, close January and February and part of March, reopen March 15th through Memorial Day again, be closed in the summer, open up September through. So you get the drift. So that's the schedule we're on right now. Now, let me just tell you, and I'm only telling you this story because I think it's something we all need to reevaluate and look at. Not that I'm saying it's going to suit every business, it's not. But there are so many ways to do retail. And there's so many ways to alleviate the overwhelm. And so I just think by telling you the story of what happened to us last year and how it affected our sales, I think it'll help you, you know, maybe make some decisions in what you want to do going forward with your businesses. Maybe not now, but maybe in 3 to 5 years if you're thinking about winding down. So we did that. We wound up on the Saturday of Memorial Day and ended. And lots of tears by staff and by customers. I will tell you, there were lots of people coming in crying. And I said, for goodness sakes, we're going to be open for 6 or 7 months a year, people. Get a grip. No store is, no store is the end all and be all of your life. But anyway, what we did in the summer is we took time off. I spent time with my grandbaby. We got some rearranging done at the store. We sold off a whole bunch of crap we wanted to get rid of. You know, we all have that. And we open once a month. So we had told them to alleviate their stress, we're going to open 1 weekend a month for a tent sale in the parking lot, and we'll have the store open for you to get your fix. So we literally opened some of the, I think June, we opened Thursday, Friday, Saturday, end of June. I think July, end of July, we opened Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think the other one we did might have done 4 days, but I should have only done 3. And so we here's what I'm saying. I opened for 3 days a month through the summer months last year, and then reopened September regular hours. Okay, and we've been open now since September 15th. So when I've done my numbers, it's been really interesting. In June of last year, I did run my numbers purposely for you guys so that you guys could have benefit of this. June of this year, we did 85.2% of what we did the year before in 3 days. July, we did 67% of what we did the July before in 3 days. in August, because August around here tends to be a big vacation month. A lot of people go away. I think we did like 40% of what we'd done the August before in 4 days, and I should have only opened 3 days. So what does that teach us? Does it teach us that, number one, scarcity can be a great marketing tool, right? Scarcity. It teaches us that we better darn well have as good of an email list as I have built over 21 years, because when I email them, they come. Everybody nod their head, please. And we need to get on that, that if you do not have a good email list, that it has to be your number one priority for next year. I cannot stress that enough. It's more important than Facebook. It's more important than your website. It's well, maybe not as more important than your website, but it's the best marketing tool out there. So you have a little bit of a sidetrack, but that's the only reason I could pull off what I did last summer. So scarcity, making them come when you're open. I don't know. Anybody else have an idea of why that worked as well as it did? Anybody have a hand that they want to put up and give an idea? Or have you done something like this? Do you know any friends who have done something like this? Oops, somebody's hand's up. Let me see if I can see hands up. Oh, there we go. Angie. Angie, did you have your hand up? Or who had their hand up? Somebody did. Anybody have their hand up? Oh, Sue. Okay, Sue.
I think part of your success has to do with the fact that you are as well known in that area that you are. I think how long you've been established was a huge part of being able to have that success.
I think so too. I think you are correct. I think that has a lot to do with it. But I will tell you, Sue, that probably the only reason that we are as well known and that we are as, and I don't mean this in a cocky way at all, loved, or we have as loyal of a customer base as we do. Yeah, well, first of all, customer service, we all know this, blah, blah, blah. You treat your customers well, they feel welcome when they come in your store, they feel like they're your friend. And you've made a connection with them. You have a relationship with them over the years. Whether it's really a true personal relationship or not, they feel like they're part of your family. And also because we have trained them by the emails to come in when we have something going on, or to come in when we are open, or to come in for that special sale. All of that matters, right? So anybody else have any ideas of why you think this worked? To be honest with you, and I'm not just saying this, I was shocked how well it worked. Now, is it going to work next year? I don't know. You know, is it going to work as well next year? Are we going to be able to pull off opening for Spring Garden, which we're planning on opening March 16th through Memorial Weekend. And that's going to be our spring garden season at the front porch. Now, it's not nearly, of course, we all know this. It's not nearly, it's a tiny fraction of what we do for fourth quarter, which, you know, has been great. Are we going to be able to pull it off, and is it going to make sense to be open that time? I don't know. And this is an experiment in action, people, and I'm fully intend to share this with all of you so that you can learn through what we're doing, whether this works or not. So far, it's working. Am I going to be able to translate that into next year? I don't know. So, you know, the jury's out on that, and we're going to keep seeing if it's going to work and continue to work. Okay, Joan. Is that Joan? Or is it Janet? Janet has her. Okay, Janet, you're on.
Excuse me. Do you think, I don't know what kind of competition that you have by you, but I know you have a big floral following, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
But if you don't have the competition and there's not anywhere else that they can go in the meantime, do you think that contributed to?
It's kind of interesting though to me, Joan, because any of you locals that are on with me, you could certainly pipe in on this too. It's kind of interesting though, because we have 2 Hobby Lobbies, one within 4 minutes one way and one within 4 minutes the other way. We have a Joann's that maybe is 5 minutes away. We have a Michael's that's maybe 6 minutes away. I mean, we are in a big area of big box stores that we have Home Goods, we have At Home, we have TJ Maxx. I mean, what else do we have? I mean, we have a Target right around the corner, a Kohl's department store right around the corner. Now, granted, none of those sell floral, but Hobby Lobby does.
Right.
all of those do. Now, we are known for our quality and and how great everything looks. So yeah, you're right. Is that what it is? Our boutique is, not that I haven't known we've done well with our boutique and the clothing, which is why, Janet, I suggested it to you, but you can't underestimate how women really want to have a cool place to go and buy a new top. Not everybody can redecorate their house every week. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But they can go in and buy themselves a new top, or they can buy themselves a new pair of leggings, or they can buy themselves a purse to make, or they can just look around, frankly. You know what I mean? It just makes them feel good. So I don't know. And I'm truly honest when I say I don't know. Yes. Do we have a great customer base? Absolutely. I've worked my butt off for 21 years getting a great email list and a great customer base.
Probably 98% of it. To me, I would think that has the majority to do with it. If you've got that much competition and you can pull those kind of numbers, it's got to be your reputation of your quality and your customer service. It's interesting. We've talked about it before. I mean, there's a lot of people around us that sort of do that. And we've talked about, could we do that? And, it is that scary unknown of,
it is.
Wouldn't I sell less if I'm open less? And if I want to sell more, shouldn't I be open more? And, so.
It's that thing. And you know me, I've always, for those of you that have been in this group for years, because I've had this group for years. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot with it way back when. I just posted articles and stuff like that. But I've always been the proponent of you can't be in business and close at 4 o'clock every day during the week and never be open on the weekends, or can't be open Sunday. You know what I mean? I'm the proponent of, you got to be open when they're willing to shop.
Right.
So for me to do something like this is like insane. And I got a lot of flack from it, because I know a lot of bigger retailers and stuff like that. And a lot of them were saying, well, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. It's not going to work. And I'm like, I have a gut feeling.
Well, I also think too that there is a little bit, like you said, there's a little bit of a new mentality of the shopper now that's okay with, I know that I can go to Ann's store once a month and I'm going to find everything that I need, and I'm going to wait because I know that. But I think, there's several stores, big stores around the country. We've talked about Urban Farm Girl.
Right.
Who somehow does it amazingly and has lines out her door of people waiting for her.
It's crazy. It's crazy. If you're not familiar with Urban Farm Girl, also go like her page on Facebook, because it's an amazing phenomenon.
It is.
I do her two markets every year, and my husband and I, every year, we're over by her barn. That's where our booth is. And every year we just sit there and go, holy crap. I mean, seriously, like
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I mean, she has to do, I'm telling you, people, when she's checking people out, they have like 6 registers going all day long.
Yep.
And there's lines all day long. So you do the math. I mean, I know what those kind of numbers have to add up to.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So I think, is it part of it could be that too, that it's just becoming a little bit more commonplace, and people are maybe starting to see like, oh, this does work. This makes it more special.
Interesting because we are a little bit different of a type. We're a 10,000 square foot store. We look like a big box store when you come into our store. We laughingly say a boutique on steroids, but we are not the typical one that would go that route. And most people are just like, what are you doing? Like, that doesn't make sense. And we have a lot of customers who aren't into the vintage stuff, so they've never heard of that whole pop-up shop thing.
Right.
So yeah, it's just been a really interesting experiment. And the only reason I brought this all up tonight is I think my wish for everyone in the new year is to be thinking outside the box, whether it be in marketing, whether it be in your hours, whether it be in the type of merchandise you're carrying. We want to talk, all of us want to talk tonight about what worked, what didn't work. And then what didn't work, we need to fix it. And what worked, we need to do more of it. I just wanted to bring this whole thing up because I'm actually just sharing it with you because I think it's something that we all should just I'm happy to have you live vicariously through this and see what happens. I may come to you in the first part of June and say, well, crap, that spring garden thing didn't work at all, but that's, I have to try it. Now, my gut feeling, to be honest with you, if we can keep this going, and I don't know many more years I'm going to keep the front porch going on a regular basis before I completely retire and just do other things. I'll never leave retail completely. My gut feeling is that I probably could pull off once a month for the entire year, all the way up through September, and then be open for all of fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like take off, only be open once in March, April, May, June, July, August, once a month, instead of this stint of Spring Garden 6-8 weeks that we're going to be open all regular hours. The reason I did it that way this year is to kind of break the take away the pain for a lot of people, if that makes sense. Yeah, so let me unmute Cheryl, and then Beverly, you're next. Boop. Takes a couple of times to do it on my computer here. Okay, Cheryl, you're on.
Okay. I guess I was wondering when you were talking about your figures, but your overhead went down during all of those months as well, right? So is that calculated in that?
Well, exactly. I mean, if you think about it, our overhead, I mean, what I did with my landlord, and now, again, not everybody has a landlord like I have a landlord, and believe me, I'm blessed, and thank God every day that I have a landlord like I do who really doesn't care, is I basically approached him and said, okay, here's what I want to do. You haven't been able to rent the space anyway. Here's what I want to do, and you're going to accept it. No, not really. I said, I want to pay you this much for this amount of time, and I want to pay you this much at the end of this amount of time. So I basically don't pay rent. I mean, I do if you figure out it evens out, but I basically don't have ongoing rent throughout the summer months or January or February. It's almost like a dated bill for merchandise. You know what I mean? If you don't know what dated bills are, you need to join the buyer club. But it's almost like it's just the bill that has to come due after you've sold a bunch of stuff. So don't get me wrong, I am so fortunate that I have that. But yeah, definitely, because my electric bill is enough to choke a horse in that building. I mean, it's horrible. My air conditioning is almost worse than my heat. So yeah, insurance goes down because you're not there every day. Although it goes down quite a bit. Workman's comp goes down. Obviously, your payroll goes down because I have a big payroll. All of that goes down. So let alone that the actual gross sales number were that high as compared to last year, your net profit is up because your expenses are down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Cheryl? Because I know you're thinking about making some changes. Is that kind of what your observations are when I kind of explained what I'm doing, or?
Well, back early in the summer, I was trying to decide if I was just going to close an extra day a week or I was going to go to the weekend market. And because of my vendors, I think the feeling of responsibility I had to them, right, I chose to stay open the 5 days.
Right.
In retrospect, I wish I hadn't done that.
Right.
But also with the expansion of, of my income, so have my expenses come just for maintaining everything.
Right.
I don't really know that, it's a win.
Right. So what happens with your vendors? Do they pay a rent or just a commission?
They pay both.
They pay both. See, that's the thing with renting too. And for those of you, there's a lot of you that have vendors. Does anybody else have any input as far as what you think, what impact that would have to change at your hours? I mean, I don't know. Dylan, you have a bunch of vendors, don't you? Okay, let's get to Cheryl. I'm going to mute you.
I don't.
Okay, Dylan, you don't have vendors at all?
I don't. I've been approached a lot about people asking if they could either rent a space or more of a type thing, And since the name Paulette is after my grandma, I kind of wanted to keep it close to me instead of branching out to other people. Looking back, after the first year, I kind of was going, well, holy crap, I wish maybe I would have done something, because we were still really new, obviously, not even 6 months in, and my business partner at the time was like, I think we should sell everything and get out of it because we had been so slow. Well, I eventually bought her out and just took over it myself. And I'm happy, which is like, ooh, I'm blessed that she helped me do what she did, but it was just time I took over. And I'm happy that I didn't, just for my model and my idea of keeping it more my own. And I think that has paid off for my model in the long run.
Right. Now, what are your hours, Dylan? Do you have regular 7-day a week, or do you do weekends? Or what
We're 6 days a week, so we do Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 5:30.
Wow. Okay. So that's a grind.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about doing less hours or no?
I have my customers, and this is one thing I'm glad you're talking about it tonight. I need to really sit down and focus and figure out what we're doing. Because I tried to take the day off after Christmas off, and I slept in till 10:30 or whatever, and my phone was ringing off the hook. I had several text messages saying, yeah, exactly, where are you? Are you open? And I posted it on Facebook, had a little sign on the door, and so I eventually ended up going to the shop and did have people come in, so I feel guilty when I'm not there, but it's just one of those.
That, boy.
Yeah, exactly. And then other times I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving, and they can just see me tomorrow, and I've gotten some mean messages. Every time I come in, you're never here. And I was like, you know what? I do have a life too. When it's just one person, you have to. That's right. And I think there's a certain respect after you kind of stick up for yourself that people are like, oh, you know what? They are people too.
Right. Okay, Dylan, I'm going to put you on mute, and I'm going to take Joan next. Or if you guys could mute yourself after we're done talking, that would be great. Okay, Joan.
I'm open 7 days a week now. When I first opened my store, I was closed on Mondays because I thought 6 days was enough. And the neighboring stores, they were closed on Mondays. But I found when I was working in the store on Mondays, I was having more business on Monday being closed because people wanted to come in.
Right.
So, of course, I didn't want to lose any business. So, of course, okay, we're going to open on Mondays now because I want all the business. So, which I think, like Cheryl said, you regret sometimes the decision when you go after the business and you want to sell. That maybe you shouldn't, because they'll come on Tuesday or Wednesday instead.
Well, and this is a perfect example for what we did. They will come when you're open.
Right.
You may get a little pushback. You may get people messaging you, like Dylan said, but you got to set boundaries. And you know what? Your customers, if you're open about it, like when you do videos, look, we need to have a life, and I've decided there needs to be balance. There's not that one person that's not going to strike a chord for. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and I'm thinking about cutting back. I mean, when I first opened the store, I was open 10 to 7 because I wanted to build that after work customer, because everybody said, oh, so many businesses close.
Nobody's open. Right.
But I couldn't. After a year of being open till 7 o'clock, I could not build the business between 6 and 7. So now we close at 6 o'clock. But we're also open Saturday and Sunday. So
yeah, I'm open 7 days a week, 9 to 7, Monday through Friday.
And it takes a lot of hours. So I am thinking about cutting back the hours in the summer because our business drops a little bit in the summer. And I've thought about being open 1 week in June, July, and August.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too, Joan. I've thought about that too. One of my thoughts for next year, if I continue one more year, which I probably will, unless my landlord rents the whole space, and then it'll be taken out of my hands, right? And then it'll be just like, okay, on to new things. Because, he actively is trying to rent the place, although it's been 6 years he's been trying to do that. But I've often thought, what I thought for an idea for us, because I can bring those people, and I'm sure the way you do marketing, I'm sure you have a great email list too, is could we still have some close times, like January, February around here? I don't know about you. But, and it builds up the anxious, them being anxious to come again in March. But I thought about a 4 or 5 day week, or like a Wednesday through Sunday, once a month.
Well, I have vendors, and I think
how do you do that?
Said, I've got vendors that they're paying rent. So I have an obligation to them to be open. However, it's a new year. I can establish new policies, and I do need to weed out some vendors also. And then, but then again, I have to pick up that expense of not having the vendor. So,
the hard thing is to get a vendor to understand, to get to people to understand that generally, if you really work it well and market it well, you're going to do just as well because of scarcity and the people that have a fever of wanting to come.
Well, it's like our flea markets. We do a flea market, outdoor flea market 4 times a year, and people want us to do it more, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it too often because then it loses its interest and the excitement isn't there. Doing it just once in a while, you have that excitement. And I think the same thing would be true being open just 1 week in June, July, and August, 1 week a month. And we do really well, hopefully those weeks. And then, because like you said, our air conditioning is crazy, it's expensive, and people go out of town, so.
Well, and that's just it. And in summer, I've toyed with the idea, like you said, of just doing a longer stretch of being open for some months. And then what I came up with is, like, wouldn't it be cool if we were open like 5 days every month and we themed it? Like every month would be a different theme, and your classes would be around that, and you'd have special merchandise, and you'd have special displays, and you'd have a party during that time, a ladies' night out party. But you could have a whole series of classes based around that theme. So it gives them a reason to come during that time. So yeah, it's just all sorts of ideas that I'm throwing around to try and figure out, because let's face it, people, retail's changing in a big way. And we need to, it doesn't mean that it's going away. Everybody always go, oh, the sky is falling, Amazon's going to kill everybody. Well, 80%, what was the stats I posted the other day? Is it 80 or 88% or something, like some ridiculous percentage of retail spending in the US is still done in a brick and mortar store. Now, I know whoever's buying online, they're buying from Amazon, because they have 85% share of online buying, or 70-some% share. And so it seems overwhelming, but 80-some% of all US dollars spent are still spent location-based. Not online. Now, that being said, we all need to also navigate a way to get more online presence. It doesn't mean you have to have a full online store, but it does mean you have to have an online presence of some sort. And that's what we need to really all work on in 2018. But yeah, it's interesting, Joan, that you've been kind of thinking about that too. And it is hard when you have vendors, because now if you only had a commission-based vendors, then that's a different ball game. But when you're getting monthly rent, that's all part of your bottom line. And how do you navigate that? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. Angie, why don't we do you? Joan, mute yourself if you could. Okay. Is it Angie? Are you unmuted?
Yep, I'm unmuted.
Okay, so what's your thoughts?
I just want to touch on the Urban Farm Girl comment, because she is 30 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
And I know her. And just the hours and everything. Sorry, my dogs decided to bark in the background.
That's okay. That's what happens when you talk. Your dogs want to bark.
One of the reasons why she is so successful is probably 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
She's an amazing marketing company. So she does amazing local marketing. She also did tons and tons of shows. Like, she went all over the US and did vintage shows.
Right.
If you guys know her.
She had a great reputation as well. Yeah.
And she has an amazing email list.
Right.
So it comes down to what you said, is you need that email list, because she does no Facebook Lives. I mean, very, yeah. She does.
She's kind of an introvert. A little bit, don't you think?
She's been an introvert.
Yeah.
And she's very much an introvert. Even when you go into the store and talk to her, she's not a person.
No.
It's just funny, because I've seen her grow, because she is so local. And then for those hours, but that's how she started. She never made excuses, because, it's a repeat here.
Right.
It's that we, someone opened because someone texted them, she never made excuses for her hours.
Right.
Like, you can message her and say, hey, can I stop and buy that? And she'll be like, no, this is when we're open.
Right.
Like, she has very big boundaries set too. So I think she's a really good example of seeing those hours and how it works. And that's just how people know. However, on playing devil's advocate, because we're so close to her, a lot of people will be like, oh, I've never been to her store, because she's only open these hours. So in our area, we're still very old fashioned. We're farming communities. We're very small.
Right.
And so, you have to know your community. Those hours will work.
And I by no means want anyone to think that just because we had this recent success with changing our hours, that it's going to, number one, keep working. I don't know if it's going to keep working. And number 2, does it make sense for everybody's business model? Not necessarily. Number 3, do you have the marketing structure in place like I have, that like I felt I did, like I had a gut feeling I could do it, even though, let me tell you, when I announced it to the customers in March. And so I had March, April, and May to hear all the naysayers. And let me tell you, it was not easy, people. It was not easy. And about middle of April, I'm like, oh crap, what did I do? Like, you know, you start to believe what people are telling you. You know, and then I just would have to step back and go, you know what? No, I have a gut feeling about this. I think it's going to work. And now, will that play out and will it continue to work? I don't know. I don't know. I'm being totally an open book here. I don't know if it will.
Well, I think you have an amazing email base, so I think that will help,
right,
because you can, you know, you can pull them back in. It just shows that we can't just sit on one type of social media.
No, because you don't own that. You don't own it.
No. The only thing that we can is our email list, but we just can't settle on one thing, that we have to use all the different avenues.
No. And if there was one thing I would tell you, and make sure everybody, there's some great stuff going through the chat. So make sure that you take time to read through the chat roll. Hopefully that goes over with the recording. I would hope it would.
I think you have to do something separate.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. But anyway, yeah. So just really interesting. So Angie, I'm going to mute you and we're going to bring Beverly on. Beverly, I'm going to unmute. Beverly, are you on, Bev?
I think I am.
Okay, hi Beverly.
Okay,
Beverly,
hi.
Beverly, we never got to do an introduction. Beverly has Beverly Designs in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, just west of me. So she has a clothing boutique, right, Bev?
Yep.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? Because you've changed your hours recently, Beverly.
I did. I had a similar decision to make about the same time you did, Ann.
Yep.
May was my 20th anniversary. And last year I had decided either I was going to have to shut down on my 20th or change it somehow, because I just couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
And when I first opened, it was clothing I painted on, because I started out doing art shows. And it's gotten to the point where I have one thing that I've painted in the store right now. And for the last 5 years, I've tried to get back to it. And
when Beverly says painting, she used to do the most amazing painted clothing. So she would hand paint on clothing.
And I've tried to get back to that. It's kind of like, if not now, when?
Right. So tell everybody, Beverly, what you changed your hours to, because you closed over the summer, didn't you? No, were you open?
No, I did different than you, but I've been telling people I'm, what do they call it? Semi-retired. I actually am open Thursday and Friday. No, Friday and Saturday from 12 to 6 and Sunday 11 to 3. I opened up Thursday, I think, from noon till 8 in December.
Because your town is open in the evening on Thursday, right?
Well, nobody's open. It's at what came first, the chicken or the egg. I've been open many nights. I've used to be seven days a week.
Right.
People are eating between 5 and 7. So
right.
But I had very different results than you did, Ann.
Okay.
My income, plunged, or my sales plunged. However, I know my expenses aren't as much. There were some customers not happy, but I don't care about those. I have lots of.
What is your email list like, Beverly?
I have about 2,000.
Oh, that's not bad.
And only, I'd say it's about 22%. That open them.
Open rate? That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good according to industry standards.
I think it's above normal, but I have people on there that I keep thinking I should get off. They've never opened one and they've been on for like 10 years.
Yeah, you don't ever kick an email person off.
Well, I know it throws off the percentage.
There's no point in kicking them off. It's not costing you anything.
True. And if it weren't for the emails, I would have closed a long time ago.
So what else are you doing for marketing then? You send an email when you're going to open, right? But do you send an email every Wednesday if you open on Thursday?
Well, I'm not very consistent. That's not a good thing.
Number one problem.
Yep. I agree. I know. I have great plans. Doesn't always happen.
Right.
So that's not good because I'm not consistent about that. And there's some weeks I don't get any email out.
Right.
But people will tell me they come in. In fact, I just got a thank you for the email today from someone.
That's awesome. That's
But
awesome.
being the way I decided to do it was I was just getting too tired. I just physically couldn't do it. And I had made bad decisions in the last few years. I've been trying to get back to this for 5 years now. I've done hirings that didn't go well. So I've been seriously stung in 2014 and again in 2016. So right now it's just me.
Right.
And there are times I think, oh, this is crazy. How can I do this? But I'm getting more, I don't know what the word is, laissez-faire or something. When people come in, sometimes now I'll even sit on the couch with Mikey, my dog. And tell them,
Sounds like you've lost your, lost your excitement for the business.
You heard his name. That's the problem. If I would continue the way I was. I hadn't enjoyed going to work for 5 years, and that's pretty bad when it's your business.
Right.
So I'm feeling excited. I feel like I can turn this around. What I've told people is either I shut down or I recreate.
Well, yeah, because there's no point, Beverly, in being in a limbo of sorts, right? For any of us in our lives, right? Can I get a thumbs up for that? There's no point being in limbo. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you need to change and do something different. Because just keeping on going on just for the sake of it being the same old thing, and you don't want to make changes because you're afraid to make changes. That doesn't work for you. That's not what I would want for your life, Well,
I actually have moved my studio from my home to my store. Now I have 2,300 square feet, and I think I filled up the whole center with kind of like an office and workspace, so I didn't have to put clothes in there. I'm not your normal retailer.
Right.
I'm not looking to make the most I can per square foot. Right now I'm trying to simplify my life. What I love about being a retailer that I would miss if I closed is I love assisting people and making them feel good.
Having them make the perfect purchase. It makes them happy.
And they feel good about what they're wearing. They feel good themselves.
Right.
And I do get so much good feedback on that I don't have to worry about the negative. I actually had retailers upset with me that I changed my hours. One in which they're a gallery. Now it's Beverly Designs Boutique Gallery. But
now my dogs are going crazy.
And the gal said to me, I get more people here when you're closed that want to know why you're closed. And why are you carrying art? She said, you need to just sell clothing.
Well, you can't be listening to other people. I'm going to just mute you real quick, Bev, and we're going to get Angie, who has, I'm just trying to get to everybody here.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I'm seeing like 9 squares on here, so I don't see an Angie. Are there more and I don't know how to see everybody?
Oh, there's a little arrow up above. You can arrow over and see everybody.
An arrow.
There should be an arrow up by the pictures if you're on your computer.
I'm on my iPad.
I'm not sure on an iPad. I've never done it on an iPad. Okay. All right. Anybody else have a comment about special hours or anything? Okay. What I want to do now is go through real quick and talk about, if anybody wants to talk about whether they were up or down, raise your hand. Up or down? All right. Dylan, you're up. I should have unmuted you. I don't know. Here we go.
Are we there? Okay.
Okay, Dylan, up or down for the quarter and then up or down for the year?
Up on both. So looking back at this quarter, we did like double what I did last year, which was amazing. Double, which is amazing. And I'm still crunching the numbers. A lot of it was seasonal sales, but also with my business, since it's a craft supply store mostly, a lot of that came from
I'm sorry
our
about
classes.
Billy and Henry having crazy dog time in the
No, That's okay. Not to worry. Makes you feel at home.
That's right.
But it was interesting to me. A lot of people were giving you crap as retailers. Why is Christmas out so early? Yada, yada, yada. And I was like, leave me alone. I said, there's other big box stores that have their stuff out super, super early. But what I found from that was that I had all of my Christmas out by middle of September. And my displays and everything, which I thought was
you're a supply person, so people need
exactly,
it
and that's exactly right. And I had to tell people that. I said I had customers coming in August saying, "Hey, it's Christmas," and I would go get a box or two, let them look through it, just so they could start getting ready for their show. But in terms of the decor and everything, I sold almost all of it within. By middle of October, and I placed another order, and that was almost gone again, which I've never done in my existence of the store.
So tell me something. Did you put Christmas out earlier this year than you did last year?
I did.
You planned for that. So if you can think back, when did you put Christmas out last year? Do you remember?
So last year, I did it. I think I waited until the 1st of November.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Which was super late. So
that's directly why then.
Correct.
Because you got another cycle. I'm surprised you could even reorder, because it's hard to reorder Christmas at that time.
I was very, very lucky, especially with my company that I order from. I was like, Michael's and Joann's and all those places order from them too. And I said, they're not going to have anything. And a few things they didn't, but the items that I was able to order again or completely new, they are gone. When I'm taking it off of the shelf, which is what I was doing today, and switching over for Easter, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick's Day,
so
there's not much.
You made a concerted effort to put it out earlier because why? What made you make that decision? You just got feedback from your customers, like, what are you doing? You got to have stuff out earlier?
Yep. I got feedback. Also, at that time, because that was kind of the transition from summer and July, 4th of July, etc. And I had all this inventory just sitting downstairs, not making me money. So I could have waited and ordered more July, or I can put out what I had purchased last year that's sitting down there already paid for. So that was another deciding factor of, what's not making me money sitting downstairs. I threw it.
Inventory's never making you money in the background.
No. So I did. I just threw it out, and I had a really good response. So I kept putting it out.
That's awesome. So tell me about the rest of the year then. That explains your fourth quarter.
Yep.
Why do you think the rest of your year was up? Have you changed your marketing strategies or?
I've done a lot more Facebook Lives, which is good. I don't know. I always like to watch other people's, and I've written it down in my booklet for today. I do need to get better with my emails. It was a lot of the emails I'd send out to people. I've had several say, hey, can you not send me any more emails? So that was kind of a damper in the pot. So I still stick to my emails. I erased them because they asked me to, and then focused more on my before and after shots on custom orders, my live videos on literally me opening a box and pulling it out. People got really excited with that, as well as with the classes. I would take photos and tag people. So when I put it on Facebook and I tagged all 10 people or whatever that came to that class, their friends were starting to see it, their family. Exactly.
Friends, yeah.
Exactly. And people that walk by my store every single day that I see from my window had never even heard of my store, and they would come in and now they're addicted, or hooked.
So tell me, if you don't mind sharing, would you mind sharing how many people do you have on your email list right now? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, honestly, less than 250, I would say.
Yeah, you need to work on that. First thing. Get those signups out there and you get on your email list. And then how often were you emailing your customers?
I was emailing between 2 and 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's too much. Go down to 1 time a week.
Okay.
One time a week consistently. Consistency is more important than anything. You don't want to do 2 or 3 times a week because then they'll think of you like a Kohl's. You know how you get those emails 5 times a day at this time of year.
Exactly.
You'll get a lot more unsubscribes. Now, if you go down to weekly or even twice a month, if you don't feel like they can even handle weekly, and have them based around a specific event that's happening or something, then you'll get that much pushback.
And I think that will help dramatically.
Get in there and get that email list built. Now, do you have any kind of email list sign up hooked up to your Facebook?
I don't. for being able to do live videos, which I like to do, I'm not real tech savvy, so I'm surprised I could figure this video out.
Well, you did though. So
I did. I know. I was like, hey, very happy with that.
That's something in the future then that we need to work, because you do so well on your Facebook page. We need to figure out a way to translate those into email subscribers. And then I would also suggest to you, Dylan, not that I was going to give one-on-one, just because I follow your page and see your lives a lot. Why aren't you doing tutorials on how to make stuff?
Very good question, and I've had a lot of people ask for that too.
Yes, you know the engagement I've been getting on my tutorials.
Yes, which is awesome though, because I think a lot of people that come into, I think, both of our stores, there's very crafty people that vision it, and then there's people that just want us to do it for them because they have no crafty bone, which I say you do.
Even the people that want you to do it for them live vicariously through watching someone make it. So
that's exactly.
That can make something. I don't care, like Lorna, I don't care if you show someone how to set a table. If it's a tutorial of it's like a bad car accident. People can't look away.
That's right.
I'm serious. So I want you, that's another takeaway. I want you all to go back into your business. And even if you don't sell craft supplies or any kind of do-it-yourself stuff, but I know most of you do have something, think of a way that you can teach someone something. I know you all do it, because let me tell you, our engagement has gone through the roof, and we sold a crap load of stuff over the winter or fourth quarter from those stupid Facebook tutorials I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, no.
It's funny because sorry, that's my finger. A lot of my customers, they'll message me afterwards and say, hey, set this aside, I'm coming in, or comment on the video like they do with you.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's funny, I think, because when you're kind of been in the store all day, you're losing your mind, you're tired, you're hungry, you're not all with it. And so when you're being kind of quirky and funny and you're just rolling stuff off the tongue, you get more engagement.
You do.
And people are like, you know what, this store looks fun. I haven't been in a while. Or you're cracking me up. I just have to come down to chat with you.
Right.
You know?
And again, it's that trust that you're building because they feel like they can connect with you. And
exactly.
That's what it's all about in any kind of online marketing. We need to all be online in some capacity. And again, it doesn't have to be an online store where you're physically selling things online, but you need to be online marketing your business because that's where people are. And the more you can come across as yourself, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about this because we've had, and I don't want to bore everybody with my stories, but we've had such incredible success with our Facebook Lives for the last month. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you, it's like pinch me. And I would say that is why our fourth quarter was up. Hands down, it was the Facebook. Hands down. And not just people, not just selling things to people that were watching my tutorials, but local people, because I would I would take the videos that I'd done and then I would boost them and target them locally. So then more and more people would see them in my local area. So what I want to do in first quarter, not in January, February, because I'm going to be gone all month, but I want to do some basic tutorials for you and teach you how to do that, because it's unbelievable what you can do. It's unbelievable.
Agreed.
Thanks, Dylan.
Thank you.
Want to mute yourself? All right, Janet. Let's go for Janet.
Okay. Hello.
All right. Hi, Janet.
I poured myself another drink.
Yay, I need another one. Look, it's empty. And we're talking about American Paint. It's empty.
Yeah, exactly. American Paint Company.
So what's your observations? Were you up or down?
We were up.
Up for fourth quarter and up all year?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you attribute that to? Let's start with fourth quarter.
I think like Dylan, we did put our Christmas out earlier than we did last year.
So you do some seasonal?
Yeah, we have seasonal. We were probably November 1st-ish last year. I remember we had an open house, I think, like our holiday open house, and we kind of didn't put anything Christmas out until then. So this year we were like, okay, instead of waiting, let's put out what we put it out now, let people know that we're going to have an open house. But if you want the pick of the best stuff, the freshest stuff, you got to come in and pay full price for it.
And you think that worked?
It worked. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I don't know if we didn't sell a ton, but people were asking for it.
Right.
So we did, we do some outdoor markets. We do some vintage market days, and we had our last one in the fall. It was late October. I think it was October 22nd 23rd, something like that. And so Christmas went out pretty much right after that. So not a lot before February, but a little bit. Enough where it was more than, I think it was probably November 8th or 10th before we did it last year.
Right.
It was late. We've added more wholesale this year. So I think we did a little bit better in the gift buying
Awesome.
area.
And do you think that helped boost sales?
It did. I quick did, and this is just, based on not any kind of cost is good. This is just per sales.
Right.
But we were up 6% for the whole year.
That's awesome.
But we were up 14% in November and almost 25% in December.
Wow.
So normally December's not great for us because I think we've kind of dropped the ball on the gift item because nobody's.
Well, we had talked about that when you first joined in the summer in the Buyers Club. You felt like you dropped the ball. Yeah.
Right, because nobody's coming in to buy a buffet or a dresser for a Christmas present.
And that's a problem for a lot of the vintage people. And that's why I've kind of hit this niche of like, no, you're missing the boat here. You're not buying the right things for December.
Right. So, and we struggle with, we have vintage on our front. That's our sign. It says vintage decor. So it's like, well, how do we balance that out?
But there's vintage style decor and there's vintage Christmas decor and there's vintage style clothing. Right.
And actually we, so in the past, we have always closed the week between Christmas and New Year's. And last year we did not. So basically we were up 25% over December. Last year we opened the whole month of December. This year we were only open until the 24th.
And you were still up 25%? Holy cats.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you said you're 6% for the whole year.
Yeah.
And you said November you were up 14% and December 25. Okay, so you said specifically, let's drill down. You said that December last year you didn't do things right. So what do you think you did different this year in December to make that kind of increase?
We did, first of all, I think it was the merchandise that we had.
Okay.
I think we, did, like I just said, I think we really focused on some gift items, having that like that grab and go type of thing.
Did you do that more in the women's accessories or did you do it more like gifty gift? Like
it was more gift. It was seemed to be more gifty gift. We stumbled on a company. If anybody wants, it's called Serious Lip Balm.
Oh yeah. I've heard
Have you heard of them? Yeah. We met them at a show and basically we've gone through 2 orders. It's fantastic. It's just
everybody write that down. Spell it for everybody.
It's just the word serious, like.
Oh, like are you serious?
Yeah, like are you serious?
Okay.
It's called Serious Lip Balm, and so we actually ended up buying these little bundles.
I'm writing it down.
They're super cute. The guy's name is Darren. They're fantastic. They're out of Illinois.
Awesome. And what's their bailiwick? Like, what's their special? Like, what's their?
So, it basically this lip balm that they make, but it's funny names. So we ended up buying these little.
Humor is everything.
Yeah. So one of them is called the Hot Bitch, the Whiny Bitch. And so like the Whiny Bitch one had 3 different lip balms and one was like Chardonnay flavored.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was a fun, and we had them sitting right, not that made the 25% difference, but we had them
No, but all those things add up.
Right,
and
they do.
It gets people laughing because when they laugh, that sets the tone of the personality in your store.
Right,
for sure.
right, exactly. It was a great add-on. We had a teacher bundle one. It didn't say teacher bitch, but it said teacher bundle. So that was a good one. We did a holiday open house early in November, but we did another girls' night.
Oh, cool.
In December.
You didn't do that last year?
We did not do that last year.
And what did you do? What did you do at that? Just to give people ideas.
We did a percentage off. We started at like 5 o'clock at night. We did a percentage off. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we had a spin wheel.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. That's right.
So we had this crazy spin wheel where you'd spin the wheel and you would get like $5 off.
Oh, I bet they loved that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We did like kind of a make and take. So we had all these little $10 signs where it said peace or joy.
Oh, cute.
That went over well. We just did like, stencils, and it took them like, 15 minutes to make it. It wasn't anything crazy. I will tell you, we did, and in this, we play the hours game as well. We're only open till 5. Wednesday to Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sundays from 12 to 3. So from Thanksgiving to Christmas, we did open on Tuesdays.
So you had one extra day during the week, but you closed that week between.
Yes.
So you were still closed more days than last week.
I was still, yes, I was still closed more days this year than I was last year. We had the Tuesday before, so we also did 50% off Christmas the week before Christmas.
Right, we did too.
So on Tuesday, like, it was crazy that Tuesday before Christmas. I couldn't believe the response that we got from the 50% off Christmas.
And how did you let your customers know about that? Do you have an email list? Have I asked you that before?
Yeah, we have about 2,000.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Yeah. Okay. So that does it for you too. But then
Nope, we didn't even do an email. It was all Facebook.
Come on.
I did a Facebook post and said 50% off Christmas, and I had people in all day long. Like,
that's awesome. Crazy. That's awesome.
So it, again, it's hard because if you change a lot of things, you don't know exactly what it was, but I think it was just a combination of everything.
So you definitely can look at your sales and say, obviously none of us sell that much furniture. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I never sold much furniture or any big things like that in December because everybody's in the gift mode. So
right. We do here and there.
Right.
I mean, yeah, here and there. I mean, but I think, I think it was just the additional of the more merchandise. I think we were just better prepared with more things.
Right. Rather than just coasting through December.
Exactly. Which I think is what we kind of done before because we were like, we'll just, we didn't invest anything. We didn't buy anything. We don't know how to buy anything, other than going to the, our pickers or whatever.
Right.
So the Buyers Club, I think, really did. I mean,
awesome.
that was huge for us. I think that was a big game changer, just to have that confidence of buy from here, mark it up like this. We're like, okay. So, even when we had our 50% off on our wholesale stuff,
you're still making money.
We're still making, not a ton. It might be a couple bucks on something.
Yeah, but you're getting your money back and you're making a little.
Yeah. Exactly. We didn't lose any money on any of that stuff because we sold it quick enough that we didn't have to go 75 or anything like that.
Right.
And we hardly have any Christmas left.
That's awesome.
Maybe a box.
That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yep. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing. That's an amazing, congrats. That's awesome. Okay. Joan. Are you unmuted?
Sorry, I couldn't find my mouse.
I know. So were you up for fourth quarter? What was your fourth quarter like? And then what was your year like?
Fourth quarter, we're up 10%.
Wow.
And for the year, I'm up 18%.
That's huge.
And I have to say, this past November was our record-setting month for the whole time since we've been open. We sold
what do you attribute that to?
Furniture. We promote the furniture before the holidays because people need to decorate. They need the extra bedroom decorated in the dining room, furniture stuff. So we really push furniture. And I am really dedicated to my lives, and
you are, and that doesn't it make a difference?
Yeah, I have to tell you what happened last night. I did it was all good. I'm exhausted, but it was good. I did a live walk through the store sale.
I saw that. Yeah.
Did you? Oh my God, it was wonderful, and I'll do it again. But I learned a lot, and I'll do it different next time. But we were so busy today. I couldn't believe it. People coming in after seeing the live.
I know. It's crazy.
Pick up their stuff, buy their stuff. I did have only one disappointed person that didn't get what they wanted.
Right.
But, people, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But
well,
it's a table. The world isn't going to die. And she didn't get the table and somebody else bought it,
Right.
She kept commenting, sold. Well, I didn't know what she wanted, so I couldn't sell her what she wanted. So it was kind of funny. But anyway, no, it was great, and I had so many views and so many comments. It was really, really a good event, and we got rid of a lot of stuff, which was the goal, is get rid of stuff that's been hanging on for a while. In furniture, I didn't do any smalls.
That's awesome.
Furniture, so. So we probably did almost $1,000 just for that live last night.
That's awesome.
Between last night and then picking it up today and people coming in. So it was really good. So I'm you know, like Dylan said, at night you're tired, but that's when the lives need to be. They need
Well,
to be.
and you know, if anybody watches my page, you know, I haven't gotten to the point where I'll schedule them because my life is just too crazy.
Right. Me neither.
But,
Yep.
and I'm
Yep.
afraid that I'm going to disappoint people. But
Right.
the ones that I've done in the evening, I mean, they're insane. I mean, now the other ones, I should say, I have done, you know, if any of you follow Jennifer Allward or any of the other, you know, because I'm in, like, I don't know, three different Facebook groups and paid groups, and I'm in her inner circle, which I just
Yeah, me too.
just to get some strategies and more to network. I've met some really great people in there, but it's you know, you can listen to all the people about when the best time to go live is, but ultimately, you know, that just because you only have 5 or 10 or 15 people on live with you, it doesn't mean that you're still not going to get thousands of people that watch it, because the majority of people don't see it live.
Right.
Right. They see it later. So the time you do it is important to get it off the ground and to get some juju behind it. But I've done lives at the worst time of what the experts say, you know, like Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and I've still done well with them.
Well, I think, you know, we all want to do them to get them done, because you know you gotta do one.
Right.
And if it's Saturday, then you just do it and it's over with, and then you do another time. But yeah, the evening ones really are the best. And if you can force yourself to stay at the store late, and once you're in the mood and doing it, it's okay. But it's like, oh my God, I'm not. You know, you want to go home. You're tired.
And it's so easy to put it off.
Absolutely.
So other than Facebook Lives, can you attribute anything else that you're up that much for the whole year? Have you done anything different marketing? Like, have you done any local media or?
I don't do any. I used to when I first opened. I did a lot of print advertising just to get me started. I don't do any print advertising anymore.
Right.
We do a lot of postcards. I print out.
Oh, so you send out actual postcards?
Well, I take them around to the coffee houses. I take them to other similar stores, and we all cross advertise and market for each other.
Right.
So I do a lot of that and drop those off. All my vendors or anybody I know that's doing a show, they take the postcards to the shows that they're doing. So
have you gotten your vendors on board with the social media train, or are a lot of them?
No, they're glad I'm doing it. They're always thanking me.
Nobody wants to?
No, they don't want to do the lives. They're scared to death of the lives. If I could get them to just check in on Facebook when they're in the store, I would be grateful, but I can't get them to do that either. So I'm virtually taking the phone from them saying, okay, we're going to do this together, and show them how to check in.
Isn't that something?
Share our store on their page. They don't get it. And I think there's a mindset that it's not their store. It's their booth and their stuff, but
can you imagine all of you people with
booths? My God, it would
all
be
of you people with booths. If some of you have 20, 30, 40, 50 vendors, if all of them would be active.
Can you imagine?
and cross promote, how viral all that would go.
Well, and to be honest, we're going to do a Facebook training in the store just with the vendors. We're going to do that. We're going to do some other, free just information for vendors, which I think will help, because maybe some of them are just scared, or they just don't want to do it,
Well,
so.
one of the things that's on my goals for next year, I don't know, it's probably not going to be first quarter, but maybe second quarter, is to do a really short little e-course for retailers. Not anything like crazy, like I get into some crazy, stuff as far as advertising, because I'm trying to learn more and more and more about Facebook advertising, so it gets pretty deep, but something very simple for retailers, and that would be for any booth, anybody, like a really short little e-course that would be super easy to follow along, and this is how you do it, and this is how you do lives. Or even I've had a lot of people ask me, can you do a little course on how to do lives? And I'm like, well, it's so easy. And it's like, but then most people they do. It's apparently not easy.
Well, I don't think with most people, it's not the technical part of it.
They're scared.
The fear, and they're shy, and they're so afraid. I mean, you've watched a couple of my Chocolate Tour lives, and I mean, I will screw up big time. And it's just like, well, this is what happens when you screw up. You just got to roll with it. But people get so scared, It's like, oh my God, the sky is
And
falling.
I just want to come up with, and I've done some thinking and I have some ideas. I want to come up with a way to get people over that hump, because trust me, once you've tried, literally once you've done them 2 or 3 times, you'll be like, yeah, no big deal. And I know, and everybody goes, no. And I'm like, yes, seriously. Once you've done your 2nd or 3rd one, you'll be like, you don't care anymore. Well,
I think the first thing that I always tell people is you do not have to show yourself.
Right.
And I know how I'm comfortable and I'm very animated, but a lot of people aren't. You do not have to start the live with the camera on yourself. You can start
especially
the
if you're
live.
doing tutorials. If you're doing tutorials, they can be faced.
Exactly. So that's what I always suggest is just do it so you're not on camera. They're hearing your voice. And I know a lot of us, we've talked about this, we all hate our voices.
I know. Isn't that weird how you don't want to hear your own voice? Like, I've never watched one of my lives. Isn't that something? Never. Never. I've never watched one of my own.
You've got that Wisconsin twang and I've got the Chicago twang.
I know. It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, well, thanks, Joan. I'm so glad to hear that you're up.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's been good. It's all good.
Awesome. Okay, Janet. Different Janet? Or did he?
Just like some people like.
Janet, was that you again? Did you have your hand up again or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I maybe just didn't.
Okay, I'll mute you again. All right, who else? Anybody else want to talk about stats or how you've done? Anybody else have any burning issues? I'm going to unmute everybody and it's going to drive us crazy, but everybody's unmuted right now. So anybody else have any burning issues you want to discuss tonight? Or is there something else you want to ask me or ask one of your fellow retailers on here? Maybe you heard somebody say something about shop what they do and maybe you have a question for them because it's similar to yours. Anybody have another question? Because I want to get you off of here so you can go drink more wine. And
I have 2 quick things. I'm going to talk here. But Joan, when you were talking about your Facebook Lives and try to do them, we don't do great at them, so I'm not. But
We do fine.
We do fine. We just don't do them enough. We do when we do them, they're fine. We just don't do them enough.
Yeah.
But I will say one of the better ones we did. Now I don't know who sells paint, but we sell Heirloom Traditions paint.
We do. We sell general finishes.
And general finishes. So anytime if you do a paint demo, when you go to share that, if you tag them in it, you will get copious amounts of views. I think we have like over 10,000 views on one that we shared because we tagged Heirloom Traditions in it.
That's awesome.
Because we used their paint. We were doing
that's a great point. And the other thing is you never know if they're going to just post it on their page then.
And they did.
Yeah.
Like if you pick those smaller companies, Heirloom Traditions is big, but they're not huge, but they picked up on that and then they shared it on their page. I mean, we just did a dumb little how to dry brush or something. It was stupid.
That's the thing, Janet. Don't you agree that the thing you have to get away from is that you have to look at it from, and it literally is like DIY for dummies. And I mean it in the most loving way. I really do. But I cannot believe the amount of easy things I've been asked to do on Facebook. Like things that I would think God, I would never do a live on that. I'd bore everybody to death. It's the simplest thing.
Yeah. People want to be taught. They want to be taught something and they love that.
And sometimes it's not even that they'll ever do it, but it literally is like, I can't look away. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just mesmerizing to watch someone make something.
Well, it's entertainment. Customers come in all the time saying, oh, we love watching you. My husband and I, we just sit and watch. I'm like, oh.
I know.
My husband makes fun of me because I sit here and watch paint dry. Like, I know how to paint and I still watch other people paint.
I know. Or you have it on in the background while you're working on something else.
Like, what are you listening to?
I know.
Watching people paint.
I know. I know. That's just crazy. Anybody else have any questions or concerns as we're going forward into January? Anything about buying? Anything about marketing? What anybody else have anything they want to ask about or contribute or suggest? Or anybody do something last year that like blew your socks off how great it was other than Facebook Lives? Like any promotion you did that you were shocked how good it was or how bad it was, like it didn't work? Because we can learn just as much from what doesn't work, right?
we do events just about every month. We do something.
Do you?
Yeah.
Every month. Wow. So do you theme them, Cheryl, or like how do you or do you just have standard events that are every month?
No, we've always done events throughout the year, but this year we tried to do something every month to drive people in, and it's definitely increased our sales.
Okay.
Usually we have markets twice a year anyway.
Right.
We always have in the spring and in the summer.
So that takes care of those months.
That takes care of those months. Sometimes it's just as easy as saying it's something special, but it's really not anything special. We don't change anything. We just call it something.
You like give it a theme. That's what I'm telling you. We got to theme this stuff.
Yeah, I think I am going to have a tea party in February, though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, it's fun, and it's because I know who the age and the demographic of our customer is, and they like that kind of stuff, and it gives them something to do. You know,
now, when you do that, do you always do it on a weekend, or do you do it during a weekday sometimes?
No, we usually do it on the weekend. We have a lot of commuters that live around.
Do you find that doing one a month makes you that much more tired, or is that okay to keep up with?
Oh no, it's exhausting.
Yeah, see, that's
just I end up doing the brunt of everything myself. So, yeah,
right.
It's exhausting.
So do you have anyone that works at the store with you, Cheryl?
I do.
I was going to say you must. There's no way you can handle that all by yourself.
Yeah, there's 5 girls that work with me.
Yeah? That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Lorna, you're on the spot.
I'm back.
Where were you up for fourth quarter, or what was your sales like for fourth quarter, and what were they like for all year?
I was down 3% all year for the entire store.
Okay.
November, December were fabulous for me. December was my best month ever.
Really?
Did today though is I went back and I looked at all of, because I do have some consigners and vendors, and I pulled out just my sales from when I opened till now.
Right.
And even though the store was really down most of this year, my sales were up mostly, except for a couple.
So isn't that interesting?
I'm showing growth, but my vendors weren't.
And so what percentage of your store, and everybody needs to check out Lorna's Facebook page too, because she's got a lovely store. What percentage of the store would you say square footage wise is yours versus vendors?
It's kind of changed through the year. I had downstairs, let me see, 2 rooms were strictly vendors, and that ended today. 2 rooms moved out today, so I'm taking over those.
I was going to say, are you happy about that?
Yes, I mean, I'm not happy that I'm taking both at the same time where I have to take on the rent and fill it up, but you know, after I looked at the numbers, I'm okay with it.
Oh, good.
Some of those people are kind of turning into consigners, but I'm going to limit how much they bring in.
And you know, some of you, I don't have that issue, but I have been involved in stores, and I know that sometimes the vendor issue is more of a personality problem. Yes? Like where you're dealing with problem people sometimes, and that just adds to the stress, doesn't it?
And I never had that till probably this year, like the last couple months, you know, it kind of, that's the first time I ever had any, I call it mama drama, any drama.
Drama, right.
That was this year, you know, but they're gone, so.
So your sales were up and the shops were down, so that's actually a good thing. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't mean a good thing, but it is a good thing.
Overall, I ended up the year at about 4% down. And I consider that actually a victory because back in the summer it was about 20% down. So
yeah.
I'm
Did anybody else experience that? Because I know the spring, the early part of this year, almost last year, this year, and all the way up through May and through the summer, I heard a lot of retailers did not have great sales. But fourth quarter pulled it out for them, or came close to pulling it out for them. Did any of the rest of you besides Lorna have experienced that?
I did.
Yeah? Okay. All right. So I think that's just a retail trend too. Now, Lorna, why do you think? Did you do anything different for November, December?
No, it's just like our little. It's a little historic district, and it's about 8 shops. So very beginning of November, we have like a holiday open house, and that's a big deal for us.
Right.
And Black Friday, Small Business Saturday is a big deal for us.
And you were way up for that, weren't you?
Yeah, those were great.
Yeah.
But it was great for everybody, the whole district. So it's funny, my numbers, overall, I don't know numbers, but just talking to the other stores, that we sound like we're very similar in how things were going.
So it's definitely a location thing where the economy's going well and people were buying. And
yeah. I even talked to some people in different towns and it all sounds similar. Of course, it's very hard for people to share. And I'm kind of pretty open and I'll tell you whatever. But
Well, I am too. I've always been that way too. I'm like, why? And the other thing, have you ever found how there's some retailers that it's always wonderful?
Yeah.
They won't ever really tell you the truth.
Lies.
And they started
It's all lies.
how it was
Anyone
not
that
so
tells you their business is fantastic all the time.
Yeah.
Lies.
Lies.
But when they started complaining this summer, then I knew it was not just me.
Yeah. And that's what's so helpful about being part of this group or any other group that you might be involved in. It's just so important to, oh my goodness, crazy Doug. It's so important to be in a group of people that get it, because I don't know about you, but there can be so many people you're involved with that just don't get it.
No.
And it can be family and friends sometimes. They just don't get the stress you're going through when things aren't going well.
Or people that you don't trust to really open up to.
Well, and that's why I'm so careful about who I let in here, because I get asked, I must get 10, 15 requests a day to join, and it's just it's just people that don't really have business. And part of it's that they don't know what the group's about, although it says what it's about, and I ask questions before they can join. Oh, I just thought it sounded like a great name for a group. I'm like, what? So, but anyway, so that's my goal for all of us, is to have someone to talk to, and I love the idea of making everybody. How many times have we all been talking to each other and we've never seen each other? You know what I mean? Like, so as long I knew it might be a little bit of a rocky road getting people on, and we might have missed some people tonight because they didn't download the app or whatever, or they've never done Zoom and they were afraid of it. But I really like the idea of being able to see everybody and talk to everybody. I think it brings more of a personal. Plus, I want everybody to understand that you can, that's what I love about this group too, is when somebody posts a problem, a whole bunch of people chime in,
Oh, can I chime in then?
Yeah, chime in.
I have sort of a question problem type thing.
Okay.
I do tabletop editions, and they have just done okay, and I'm still not ready to give them up. I want to try and give one more year, and of course I do not have online registry, and I need to do that, but I really don't want to go that route for many reasons, and
for an online registry you don't want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the tech person, and just getting it all set up, and I guess I'm afraid of getting started. That, not knowing where to go, how to get going. So my son's getting married, and I want them to do the dishes for me. He's like, you have to have an online registry, and I'm thinking well, screw you. I'm like, it's all local anyway. Why do I have to have online? So this is my thought. How Facebook has the shop tab and everything.
Yeah.
Why can't I do a Facebook album of their registry and people order through that? If I set up an online through Facebook, why do I have to do the whole registry thing?
So when he says you need to have an online registry, he's not saying that you have to have it so they can purchase it through there. They just could be able to go online.
So their friends can come and look at it and purchase it online.
Oh, so it would have to be purchasable.
Yes. So I'd have to set up probably PayPal on the shop.
Idea.
The Facebook shop.
Anybody have any ideas on online registries? Anybody do anything like that for bridal or anything? No.
Oh.
That's interesting. Okay, so you're saying that
That's so close to
with addition, that's holding the sales back?
Well, no, I think he'll register with me, but
no. I'm saying, do you think the online registry would help the category sell better?
I don't know.
Or do you? Are you're not convinced? I can tell by the look on your face.
Yeah, I guess I'm not. But again, of course, because it's techie, and I'm just
It'll change.
That's what you want.
Because I guess it's one more thing I have to take on, and I just feel like I can't take one more thing on.
Yeah, we all understand that, don't we? Yeah, one more thing.
And there's just I don't know how I'm going to take one more thing on.
Well, how many different dish lines do you carry? Tabletop.
I just carry one. It's Casafina / Costa Nova, so I only do the one.
Oh, so it's not too extensive. All right, let me give that some thought, Lorna. When we get together in Atlanta, I'll give you some ideas. I'll give that some thought, and I'll put some feelers out with some people I'm thinking about on how to do it.
I feel like I'm getting better with the online marketing myself, so I feel like I know how to market better. I'm learning a little bit more with the Facebook ads, how to market there. So I feel like getting it out there is a little easier.
Right. And you just love the dishware, the tabletop so much, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but you know,
if a category,
I haven't pulled my numbers for whether it's really worth it or not because I'm afraid to.
I think you're afraid to. I think because you've been saying that for a few years.
Yeah.
I'm just being the pin burst on your bubble, Lorna.
No, you're not. You're not telling me anything I don't know. But
Yeah,
you know, like, I was gonna give it one more year, but I really haven't marketed it the way I should. So I'm giving it one more year, really trying to market it better. And if I can after this year, then it's gonna have to go.
All right. So if you're going to continue with that category, then you got to market the hell out of it and figure out a way to make it different.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
because
it's
when someone does register and it's you do very well.
Oh, so you have in-store registry.
Just like the old-fashioned.
Right. Right.
You know what, Lorna? I feel that my paint is that way. I call it my indulgence.
Yeah.
So I try to overcompensate in some other area so that I can have my indulgence.
Well, we talk about that in the Buyers Club, how, you can't always be just buying what you like, but or you can't always, well, let's not get all into the buying thing or I'll go off on a rant. But, you know how I rant, for those of you that are in the Buyers Club, you can't have your whole store full of Keystone goods where you're just doubling. You can't make it these days, people. So you have to have some things that you really want to have that don't have a lot of markup, and then you have to have a whole bunch over here. It's your indulgence so that you can have those few things, those name brand things that aren't the great markup. Then you have these over here you're making 3 to 4 times so that it makes up for all that. Rant over. Anyway, so, okay, well, I'll give some thought to the registry. I have a couple of people I think I might be able to ask. Yes.
Just one more thing next time, and we can put this on the not tonight, but the table. I'd like to know how people decide how they were ready to hire somebody, or what the process, or who they trusted to hire. Was it somebody they knew or a stranger?
For store, working in the store?
Yeah,
Okay.
for working in your store. So like maybe sometime next live or whatever, January meeting, whatever you want to call it. If anybody has any words of wisdom or.
Oh, I do. I have 6 people, and none of them are really great for me.
Yes, that's what scares me. I don't want to hear that.
Cheryl, you should be the one asking.
Carol.
We all work 1 day a week.
Wah, wah.
Like have them.
Carol, was that you that said that?
Yes.
Cheryl, so you should have been the one asking that. I have 6 people and none of them are any good.
I told you the other day I needed me, and there is no me.
Well, and that's part of our problem.
That's the problem.
That
No one's going to love the business as much as yourself.
Well, no, but I got to tell you.
I hired creative people, and I'm
That's
the
right.
creative person, and they shouldn't be the creative person. So what I really should have done was hired out the website and the VA and those types of things to loosen up that time where I can just create.
Does anybody on here have a VA?
I just hired someone for my Pinterest page 3 months ago.
I'm this close. I'm so close. I'm just afraid to turn it over to somebody.
Yeah, my Pinterest page sucked. Excuse my French. I've had a Pinterest page since Pinterest started, and I had a gajillion boards of mishmash nothing. And I mean, not that it was horrible, but I never made any of the changes when everything changed, 2 or 3, it was probably 3-4 years ago it changed, and I never made any of the changes I was supposed to. Because I really believe strongly that you need to master one thing and do it really well before you move on to the next. And so I made the conscious decision a couple of years ago to really pour everything of myself into learning Facebook as much as I can possibly learn it. And I know, Lorna, you have too. I've spent some major money in learning. Let me tell you, in learning, and I'm still in the process of learning. So, but I couldn't do both, Joan. I couldn't. And I know I should be doing Instagram, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But do you think they're doing a good job for you?
Yeah, well, she's still, yes, I think she's awesome. I just have to, because I got so crazy in November and December. She was asking me for stuff, and I literally was like, I don't have 1 more minute to do anything. So she's waiting on stuff for me. And then, yes, I think she's going to really crank it. So, yeah, I like her a lot. So if you need a name, I can give you a name.
Well, I would like to do it, not just, I don't have much on Pinterest, and I should, but I don't. Managing Facebook, managing Instagram, managing my MailChimp, my emails.
So are you talking, or when you say manage Facebook, you're saying like to just answer all the comments? Or?
Answer comments, to schedule posts, to do the ads, things like that. And
Yeah. I don't have a Facebook person yet. If I find any names, I'll post them in the group. I'm not ready to let go of it yet because I'm still learning it. And I want control of it, which I know is bad, but I really am in the learning process right now. And I've spent some major money to work with some people to teach me pretty high level stuff. So I want to get through all of those. That's another thing on my goal this year is to get through all the stuff that I have.
Don't you think Facebook is kind of like, it's where you develop your personality with your customer.
It is.
And I've seen people have their VAs take over and it's lost. I'm not interested anymore. I don't.
Well, and I think Joan, I think you could never give up the face of Facebook, but you could give up the mundane stuff of it, like the advertising.
Right.
Yeah, and because all the Facebook Lives, it's just Facebook is pushing lives right now. And not to be on that bandwagon is crazy because that's where all the algorithm juju is going. So that's why all of us that were talking about Facebook Lives this quarter changing our businesses. It's because that's what Facebook's serving up, and it's giving all the meat to those people that are going live consistently. So that's just that. I don't know. Okay, so I want everyone to take a turn, and we're just going to go however you want to, but everyone take a turn and tell me what your, do we do a number? I hate goals. I'm not one that likes to talk about goals, but what's one thing how about if we word it as one thing you'd like to see change in your business this year? Like I don't want to necessarily say improve. You know what I mean? Somebody's cooking something.
Yeah, what are they making?
Yes. I can almost smell it. All right, so who wants to go first? Some shift or change you'd like to see in your business. And is that too broad? I mean, I know what I'm thinking, but it could just be improved sales by 10%, or it could be I want my life back. Or it could be I want to hire somebody. Okay, so I've given you some ideas, so have at it. What's one thing you'd like to see different in your business next year versus this year? It can be more than one thing. Come on.
I'll go first.
Okay, Cheryl.
I am going to expand my website and work on my website because I haven't really done that. And I'm going to try and make our message more broad. I tried to keep my customer base with Facebook and everything very local.
Right.
I'm going to try and branch out a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. Great one.
I think I'm going to do like an Etsy shop for furniture, things like that.
All right. If you're able to type those in the chat box, type them in the chat box because then they're real. Okay, who's next? Then I'm going to be able to keep you honest on that one, girl.
Yeah.
Who's next? I'll go next. Okay, so my goal for the front porch next year is I wasn't ready. Definitely my website is terrible. I need to improve my website. I need to open my online store, which is this close, which is part of my website, but it's this close. And I need to make a video calendar for the entire year for Facebook Live so that I can also now buy into it. Get what I mean by that?
No, you're so good at it. What do you mean
if I'm doing tutorials on how to make something, I ran out of stuff too fast because I wasn't expecting it because I didn't think anything it was a happy accident what happened this quarter. So now I need to do it before I go buying for Christmas next year because I want to be able to back that up. If I'm going to show how to make this, I better have a shitload of those. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my goal for next year. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay, whoever.
Okay.
Who's going?
Is it me?
Who is it?
Lorna.
Okay, Lorna, you go.
Okay. Well, of course, I'd like to see increased sales, especially because I'm taking over most of the store at this point.
And increased sales are just fine. That is a good thing to want.
Yeah, increased sales, increased foot traffic, whatever. So I'm, of course, I've invested pretty heavily in the whole social media too. So I'd really like to get better at mastering that. I did hire someone to take over the last couple months, and I really feel like it was a waste. So I've done it twice, and I feel like hiring other people have been a waste of money. So I really,
it's finding that right person.
you know, and it's a really good person and everything, but you know, the promises were not the delivery, and I also feel like I can't let go of that. So as much as, so I think Facebook's a love-hate, you know, so.
Well, but then you need to let go of something else to enable you to make room for that.
So one of the things I have done is I did hire someone who's working 5 days a week.
Awesome.
That would be me. And I don't think I can afford it, but on the other hand, I don't think I can afford not to do it, because for me to get the other stuff done, I have to continue having that.
We can't afford not to.
Awesome.
So I really want to master the Facebook, and you know, I've done a few of the lives. I guess I have to really that. I hate it. That I hate.
Right. I see a whole bunch of people talking about Jennifer Allwood's Inner Circle, and it is really good for people to learn about getting your business online. I did just post in the files of the group.
Yeah.
Did anybody see that? I posted like resources, and I have a link in there if you wouldn't mind joining under that if you plan on joining, because I just make a little commission on it. It's just nice to have that to help run the group kind of thing. But yeah, I belong to it. Several others. Cheryl, I think you do belong to that, don't you?
I do. I just
And
joined.
I think Lisa Cox belongs to it. She joined. There's several of us in the retailer therapy that are in there. Dylan, do you belong to that? No.
So is it more for the retailers for us or for the creative business, the Jennifers?
Is it what?
Is it more for the creative people or just for the
hi, Jarena. I didn't see that you joined us. Hi, Jarena.
Hi.
It is for creative businesses, but I find that a business is a business is a business. And I think a lot of the tactics that are in there are great for getting on Facebook, how to get online. Now, if you're not ever planning on going online with your business, I'm not sure. But there's an awful lot of stuff about social media, tons of information about social media. And if you're feeling like you're kind of in the la la land with that, that's a really good thing. And there's a lot of mindset stuff. So if you have mindset issues, which a lot of us do, we've never talked about that in here, but mindset can be a barrier to making money and to moving forward in your business. You know, so there's a lot of that. But if you go in the files of the group, I put a resource for some really good books that I'm reading right now. For one that I'm reading right now, other ones I've read over and over and over. But I put just a few. I'm a business book junkie, so I put just a few of my favorite business books in there. I put a couple other things that I recommend for the new year if you're thinking about. And if you have any questions about any of the things in there, just message me or post in the group or whatever. I'm happy to answer. So anyway, who's next for their goals?
I'll go.
For their changes for next year?
I'll go.
Okay, Jarena.
Next year, I want to do at least one DIY videos on Facebook.
Okay.
The videos or the live videos, I don't do good on that, so I want to do it every month once. I'm going to try that, and then I want to maintain my inventory. Currently, I maintain my own products, but not my vendor products. I want to maintain everything so I know by numbers what I'm doing.
Oh, you're saying maintain your inventory. You're saying like get a POS system or something so that it can keep track of your inventory for you?
I have the POS system, but I'm not maintaining that. So I have to.
Oh, that's important. Okay, right.
So that's my key, the second goal.
Awesome.
And yeah, those are the two goals.
What POS system do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
Shop inventory by Clover.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Do you like it?
Yes, I like it. It's easy.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go.
Okay, Janet.
So my goals have a tendency to be a little bit more feeling side versus.
That's totally fine.
I think for us and my business partners, I feel like we want to be more bold in our business and, maybe take some leaps. We've got, we're coming up on our lease. We've got decisions to make. We've got, do we stay where we are? Do we keep doing what we're doing? Do we do something different? But it's that, I feel like we've got, we have some wonderful people in our area that I would love to be more connected with because we're very women supporting women. But I think sometimes not everybody feels that way.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes you get that whole like, am I in high school and am I being left out? And why is everybody doing this and nobody's like, hello, we do the same thing. Why is nobody asking us to do this? Or, you know, that dumb stuff like that. And I don't want to be a part of that. But
drama.
Right. I mean, yeah, we're not really drama people. We just kind of do what we're supposed to do and go home for the day. But, you know, I think just making our business the best that it can be and
fulfilling.
And
I'm hearing you say being fulfilled with it.
Right. And so, you know, we have a big, I think part of our success has been our relationship with our customers. I think we do well with that, and we have a good repeat business. We have lots of people that we're very personal friends with that we've met through our store.
Us too,
and things like that. So, you know, it's finding that balance between being bold and doing what we feel we need to do to, obviously, everybody, like we've all said, I'd love to have more sales. I'd love to have double-digit increase for the entire year, not just in December, you know.
Right.
So where do you know, it's just learning and making sure that we're doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing, and how do we do that? You know, so I think it's just for us keeping plugged in.
So what I'm hearing you're saying is that you need more of an overarching strategy as you go forward versus just kind of putting out, you know, that's, we tend to do that as retailers as we get into that trap. Anybody here, raise your hand if you've ever felt like all you're doing is putting out fires.
Well, and
you're not proactively planning for your year.
Yeah. This was really, I think, the first year where we were like, okay, you know, we've done this and this, and we've always kind of, I felt like we've played catch up. And I think this last quarter, you know, we did better in the fact that we now have money that we're going to buy spring and we're ready to go forward, you know, so we're not like trying to like say,
robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah.
Right. Or we do without because we don't come up with the money. Like, you know, none of us are willing to say, well, I'll put in $1,000 and you put in $1,000 and you put in $1,000 and we'll go to market. None of us are, we don't do that out of our personal thing. So everything that we have comes from our business.
And that's okay. That's a smart strategy. You don't want to get yourself so pinched.
We've never had, well, I shouldn't say never, up until 3 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, we've never taken out a loan. We've never borrowed money. We've taken it, you know, we've done it as we can afford it. So
that's a good, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, we did. I will tell you guys, we did, if anybody does Square, we did the Square loan.
Oh, yeah, we had talked about that back when you were doing the clothing, that you were thinking about doing that.
It's not the greatest interest rate, but because of the volume that we do, it was offered to us. Basically, no, like we didn't have to go to a bank, we didn't have to fill an application, and we didn't have to do all of that. We basically said, this is how much money we want, and they take, I don't know, I think it's
a percentage of your sales every day, right?
Yeah, every day. So if you have a crappy
You don't even really notice it then.
You really don't. We take it out at the end of the month and it's paid for, it's done, and we don't really pay it. It's really been, I think it's been a game changer for us. I think we would probably do it again, but again, it's that whole balance of that, you know, we're all these creative people, and it's that balancing of that creative and the business side, and how do you make that work?
It's the biggest struggle. You're not alone. It's the biggest struggle that I see out there.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes, you know, you guys have all seemed like you've been in business for a long time, and I feel like we should have this figured out, but yet we don't. And so I think for all of us, it's just kind of like figuring out, how do we make that balance so that we really have a great store? I want to be the store that people go to in our area. Oh, I need to go to 4Q because I need a new shirt. I'm going to go to 4Q because I need a new piece of furniture. I want to go to 4Q because I need advice on how to decorate my house. Like that's, you know, how do you get people to do that and still be business savvy? You know, because we do great at the whole personal part of it, like,
and also have balance in your lives.
Right, exactly.
Because you can't live and breathe your business 100% of the time.
No, I don't know how you girls that are by yourself. I don't know how you do it. There's 3 of us. We don't have employees, but there's 3 of us that run the store. So, you know, we share the days of the week. So in the store, technically we work a day and a half, each week, which is like nothing. Now,
But
obviously,
then you're doing a ton of stuff outside of the store.
yeah,
to make
we're
things
still doing
work.
our stuff. But I mean, you girls that are out, we talk about that all the time. I don't know how you people do it on your own. Like, that's insane. It's
It is.
crazy. It's really crazy. So we're very grateful that, you know, we have that. And
Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you guys need to get, the three of you need to have a strategic planning. I highly recommend it be sometime. Are you closed at all during, you were closed in between Christmas and New Year's?
Yeah.
Now, what are you 7 days a week? No.
No, we're like 4.5. We're Wednesday to Saturday, 10 to 5,
Okay.
and
All right.
Sunday, 12 to 3.
So in the next few weeks, when you get your shit together after the holidays, get the store put back together, I highly recommend you block out 3 or 4 hours, the three of you, and you go somewhere other than the store, and you do a brain dump. I mean, you literally, and if you don't know what a brain dump is, I just did one this morning where you just literally, it's almost like you just literally write everything down. No order to it, no categories, no nothing. And you write everything down that you get it out of your head. And it's amazingly freeing. If you've never done it, do it. It can be everything you need to do, everything you need that you've ever wanted to do. It can be anything, you know, everything you've ever even thought of doing. And I mean, I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And then you put it aside, and then you go back and you start categorizing. Like, and then after you do all that, then you start prioritizing. Like prioritizing, and then what's actually doable. Because let's face it, as creatives and as women, we tend to bite off everything and think we can do it all, and we can't. So anyway, that's what I recommend for you three. If you want me to be a part of it, I'm happy to. Happy to do a conference call. Okay, who's next?
I'll go.
Okay, who's Joan?
Joan.
All right, Joan.
So my goals, I cleared my calendar for January. I'm only working 1 day a week.
Woohoo, girl!
And, well, I'm scared to death, but I decided I needed to do the brain dump. I needed to plan. I needed think time. I am terrible about taking time off. So my goal for 2018 is take better care of myself, get away from the store, not be there all the time, and hire people, even though I don't think I can afford it, but hire people and make myself afford it to do the things like the accounting and the bookkeeping and the Facebook and the Instagram, all that stuff. I don't mind doing it, but I feel like that's not where my specialty is.
Right.
So that's pretty much my plan, and to plan out the whole year better.
Yeah, and strategic planning right now, I can't stress it enough. And for those of you that are in the Buyer Club, we're going to be talking a lot about that.
Okay, good.
Because I think it's so important to get it down on paper. If it ain't written, it ain't real. Who said that?
You.
Dan Kennedy or somebody like that. I don't remember. Some guru said, if it ain't written, it ain't real. And it's true. You need to put it down on paper, because often if you put it down on a calendar, you realize, what the heck was I thinking? I can't possibly do all that. And then you start prioritizing, you know. Right. And the other thing, you have to get your business so that you're planning ahead and you're not just feeling like you're putting out fires, or you're like, oh man, I forgot to order Christmas. I can't tell you how many people message me in August or September and say, Ann, do you have any, ideas of where I can get some Christmas stuff? And I'm like, what? It's one of the reasons I started the Buyers Club, because I'm like, what do you mean? You have to buy Christmas in January and February for the next year. Anyway, so we will be talking about strategic planning in there. And I mean, not extensively, because obviously we're going to be so overwhelmed with all of that. But and for those of you that are in the Buyers Club, I have not launched it again, even though it's starting very soon. But I will be making a post in there if you feel like joining us. Right now we're in beta form, which means that I'm just working it all out. We did it once in July at the July or summer show season, and now we're entering into the biggest show season of the year ever. And I've added a lot more shows to my roster. I'll be on the road for 6 weeks. You're not going to believe it.
Wow.
Yeah. 1 week in there is taking care of my Queenie, though, my granddaughter. So, yeah. But I'm going to be gone a lot. So I'm doing Atlanta. I'm doing Phoenix. For those of you, Dylan, who are into craft stuff, I'm going to the Craft and Hobby Association trade show in Phoenix. I've never been there, and I'm excited to go. So for more craft supplies. Then I'm going to Dallas. Then I'm going to Las Vegas Gift. Then I'm going to North Carolina for take care of my granddaughter for a week, and then I'm going back to Vegas for apparel. And all of that'll be in the Buyers Club. So anyway, who's next? Anybody else want to pony up and say what their goals are, or you don't have to?
I'll go.
Who's that?
That's Sue.
Sue. Okay, Sue.
I'm looking into purchasing a new POS system.
Yay, Sue. Good job.
Yeah, scared, but it so needs to happen. So
what system are you looking at, if you don't mind?
Right now I'm looking at Go Antiquing.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, and it seems to fit what I have going on in my shop. Joan, it looks like you use that too? Oh, good. Okay, Joan loves it.
Yeah, and Cheryl, what do you use for your vendors?
We just use tickets.
Oh, okay. I've heard really, really good things about Go Antiquing.
You know, I will say if anybody wants to use it, I would be happy to do a live with you or a tutorial.
Awesome.
You don't get a training manual. That is the only thing.
That's not
okay.
You have to figure a lot out by yourself, but I love it. My vendors love it. It's a great system, and the owner is in California. He's wonderful too. So absolutely, I love it.
I'll take you up on that. And then my other thing is actually getting a website up and running.
Good for you, Sue. Do you currently get emails right now, Sue?
Yes.
Awesome. Keep doing that. If you do not have an email list, or if you have a small email list, put that on your list, top of the list, to be more assertive about making sure every single person that comes into your store joins your email list.
Gets on the email list. Okay.
Yes. Rant over. Okay, who's next? Anybody else want to go?
No, I can go, Beverly.
Okay, Beverly.
I need to rebrand myself, rebrand my store.
Why is that? You have a good brand now.
Because it's been making me crazy. It's too much work. I can't go to 8 trade shows a year anymore. I want to.
So before you go further, what do you mean by when you say rebrand yourself? What is it that you mean by that?
That I need that I want to figure out exactly what I want to be.
So you're not sure you want to do clothing anymore?
Well, I want to do some, but if I, God, at one point I had like 300 lines and it was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because I do gifts and clothing and kids' toys, and I like to be in a little bit of everything.
How was it?
I'm sorry. Oh, I thought someone else.
I'm sorry. That was me. I forgot I wasn't muted.
That's okay.
In order to, and I have a lot of trouble focusing. So, Dan, it would take me like 3 hours to write something you could probably write in 15 minutes. So then I think, am I really in the right business? But I have a very good eye, and I am creative. I just don't get to do it very often. And that's what needs to change. I think with rebranding, what I mean is I really need to get it on paper.
Yep, you do. And you and I have talked at length about this, Beverly, and I think you're not focusing on the things that you're really good at and you love to do, and you keep hashing this over and over and over. And I'm saying this with the most love I can. You know what I mean? You love to paint clothes, and you have that niche of painted clothes, and people know you for your painted clothes, and you're not painting clothes. So my wish for you for this year is to get some stuff down on paper and stop hashing it over in your head and just make a plan and go forward. Start painting clothes, Beverly. You do great at that. You sell them when you have them, right?
I do, yep.
And so why not focus on that?
Well, in the middle of me trying to recreate what was happening at the store, I sold my condo, and now I'm living in an apartment above the store.
Well, yeah.
Everything that was in my studio at home, where I rarely went, is now taking up part of my store, which is fine, except it's just boxes all piled.
Right, but why don't you, we talked about this a while ago, why don't you make yourself a workspace in the store where people can watch you do it? I'm telling you, people love doing that.
Yeah.
You could do Facebook Lives of painting clothes. People would love that. It would bring them in. You would if you showed yourself painting a piece of clothing on Facebook Live, it would be sold before you were done with the video.
You know what? I actually did that. I forgot. My daughter did a live while I was painting, And actually, someone did come in because of that. I forgot.
Well, there you go. So that's my goal for you, Beverly. That's what you need to focus on. Write that down on a piece of paper. Start painting clothes.
Got it.
All right. Who's next?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Painted clothes. Paint your clothes. Who's next? Anybody else want to go, or do we want to say goodnight? It's been a really long one. Holy cow, you guys. Can I just say that I just love all you guys, that you have no life either. Nothing to do. We're all just like hanging back, talking retail. So if nobody else wants to offer up a goal, feel free to put it in the chat if that's what you'd prefer to do, or write it down on your pad of paper in front of you, because if it's written, maybe you'll post it up on your bulletin board or on your wherever, your refrigerator, wherever you look at it all the time.
And will we be able to view this?
Yes, I'm going to do my best when I sign off here. It has been recording the whole entire time.
Okay.
And I'm hoping it'll take a while to render because it's a long video, and then it will be in the group eventually. And I'm gonna.
And I haven't found the chat.
The chat is over on the side, but I will do my best to not obliterate that when I get off here.
Thank you.
I just wanna thank you all for being part of the group. I so appreciate all of you, and tell your friends if you know of anybody in business that they want to join our group. Have them just try to join the group, and I'll okay them if they have a business. And otherwise, Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'll tip my empty glass to you. Happy New Year.
It was great to see faces for the names.
That's right. That's
for sure.
That's right. Okay, guys. Have a great evening. We'll be talking soon. I'll be doing some lives in here talking about the Buyers Club. So talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.